you at least give us a synopsis of what we've been doing?
Well, okay, so the broad overview is we are running through sequentially the Tales of the Yawning Portal adventures. What that means is we were random adventurers that noticed a general call spread throughout the land put up by Durnan of the Yawning Portal Inn in Waterdeep, looking for adventurers brave enough and gutsy enough to take on the challenge of exploring unknown adventures for potential untold riches and wealth and fame. So we were all drawn to the portal, and on the day we all arrived, he and I want to say a priest of Saloon did a special ceremony where there was, I can't remember what the crystal is called.
It's called the Tear of Saloon.
Thank you. The Tear of Saloon basically scanned the crowd, picked us out as worthy to undertake the challenge, and when we actually sat down with Durnan and the priest of Saloon, we found out that there's an ancient evil artifact known as the Historiophage that is destroying the old legends and basically the past and deleting them. And they've... It's a little vague here because this is months and months and months ago.
You're doing great.
Remember.
Yes.
But basically, they have found a way to try and counteract this ancient evil artifact by transporting willing adventurers into the story that have been deleted. And our task is to go in and find a key item specific to that story, as well as some other important tidbits that's adventure specific. And we go in, we find the key item and all the information we can, and then we exit, and if we're successful, we can actually counteract the damage done by the Historiophage and restore the legend in the story that was erased with our own deeds. And that's what we've been doing. We've gone through 3 of these so far. The first was the Sunless Citadel. Then there was
the Forge of Fury.
Thank you, yep. Forge of Fury. And the recent one that we just completed was the Lost Shrine of Tomoakon, which actually threw in a little, I guess, extra bit of fun in that the previous 2 adventures were like from ages gone by in the past, but the Lost Shrine of Tomoakon was almost like a side or parallel universe or from the future almost.
Mm-hmm. So
it's an interesting twist. We don't know exactly where Durnan might send us next, but we are chomping at the bit.
When you say send us, does it like how do? Is it a physical? I mean, I know it's physical.
We are teleported, but he gives us He gives us some type of. Normally, he gives us some words to use to bring us back.
So we're teleported somewhere in history.
Correct.
Not the last one. The last one was not history. The last one was in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like alternate.
So it's kind of like a time travel thing. You got to go back and change something.
Yeah. So this is generally how it goes. Durnan is the proprietor of the Yawning Portal Inn, and there is a lot of canon and lore behind that. Yawning Portal Inn is a famous, very famous inn in Waterdeep, and it has a big well, a hole. Down the hole leads to Undermountain. This is a famous Dungeons and Dragons mega dungeon, introduced way back in like first edition. It's just been persisted, ruled by the Mad Mage Hallister. Durnan was a famous adventurer working with Mert and Elminster, a big famous adventure group. They went down there 200 years ago. Now, Durnan has just unnaturally been never aged, but they went down there 200 years ago, and when they came back, Durnan brought back this book, this evil tome called the Historiophage. He didn't know what to make of it, he just kind of stored it away. But then, a couple of decades later, this book began to change. It started emanating some sort of ungodly magic, and what happened is books next to it began to disappear. Their writing inside the books began to disappear. On top of that, as these stories inside these famous books of wild adventures began to disappear, the collective knowledge of the realms of Faerun, people began to forget these stories. The Historiophage somehow was able to alter the reality, the very fabric of reality, to erase famous stories of history, famous stories from the past, famous histories. The Tear of Selûne was an intervention by the goddess Selûne, and the Tear of Selûne is an artifact from a very famous shattering of a big star. And this artifact is able, when brought in proximity with these books that have been erased, it is able to allow these adventurers to go into the book and begin to rewrite the book. And as the adventurers are going through the book, everybody can see the book being written as they play through these adventures. So that's how these adventures have been going, how the party has been going about and trying to counteract what this Historiophage is doing. So I think, so you understand that?
Yeah. I
yeah. So that is the overarching synopsis of what's going on and what this adventure is about. Of course, there's a lot of other little side quests and things like that. Now, as these two groups merge, there's got to be, there's something has really changed, and that's what we're going to get into right now. First, we go back to the Yawning Portal Inn. And this is immediately after you guys have finished your adventure. This is the Tuesday group, with John Ashford and Kayan and Olaf. They also have with them the halfling Rob Shore, who is no longer with us. The player is no longer with us, so Rob Shore will be retiring. But immediately after you guys have returned, Durnan kind of looks at you strangely and says, you guys have barely been gone 5 seconds.
Huh.
And he looks at you even more strangely, and he looks down at the table. When you guys had prepared to do this ritual, you had placed the Tear of Selûne on the table. It's gone. And he says, "Where?" Durnan looks at the four of you and says, "Where is it? What happened to it? Do you have any idea?" And he opens the book, The Hidden Shrine of Tomoakan. He begins to read the adventure feverishly.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, Durnan. We've been gone for days and days. Well over a week we spent in that cursed place, breathing the poison fumes.
And you see Durnan reading from the book, and then Kayan began to have a conversation with the vampire lord Papalakis, and he looks at you like his eyebrows are furrowed, and he continues. He continues to read.
Conversation is a strong word. It was barely a talk at all.
He continues to read. He's like, "I'm going to need some time with this, but I don't understand why the tear is gone." And you've been transported to a place that is yet to be. That makes that's not possible. And Durnan looks at you. He's like, "You need to find Elminster."
Agreed. Sure. Would he be able to fix it so the Historiophage can stop erasing the histories?
He's the most powerful being that I know. If he can't fix it, there is no fixing it.
where would we find him?
Misty Mountains. And Durnan takes out this old crumpled piece of paper. He says, "Now, I gotta warn you, Elminster has a reputation of being the most powerful mage that has ever lived. You know, this grand wizard of immense knowledge and power, but he's actually kind of an ass. And he's just been getting more and more grumpy ever since he came back from hell. You know, ever since the spell plague, he's never been the same. But I'm sure he'd be more than interested in talking with you. He knows everything that's going on here. He was the one who had examined the Histriophage to begin with. But I haven't heard from him in months. He usually sending messages over, but it appears he's stopped many months ago. But he says that he had been in the Misty Mountains in his secret hideout, trying to discover things about ancient gods. And Durnan gives you a crumpled piece of paper, and you unfurl it, and inside is a picture of a feather. It says, "Look for this. Look for this on a boulder. That's where his secret hideout is. It's in the Misty Mountains." And Durnan gives you kind of cursory instructions on how to get there. And you realize that it'll take about 3 days march. Durnan says, "You know what? Take my horses." And he gives you a key to the stables. "Just take my horses. Take the fastest ones. We need to figure this out, and you need to find the Tear of Saloon."
Interesting. Well, I guess first I would send a message to the Temple of Saloon and see if maybe it went to them. But
they had entrusted it to me, and it was here 20 seconds ago, right before us.
True. Maybe they magically took it back? Maybe?
I don't know. I have no idea.
We'll go find this Elminster guy. Right, John? Right, Olaf?
Yeah.
Elminster guy. You don't know Elminster? What, you've been living in a rock?
Oh, I've heard the name, but I figured
we don't know him
chalked it up
for
to...
sure.
Well, I know him. I've known him for centuries.
Well.
Okay, so he's real? I chalked him up to be like a fairy tale.
He's very real. Oh, believe me. Sometimes I wish he weren't. And Durnan, he looks really busy. He's busily reading the book. Now let us go back. Let us kind of fast forward into the Thursday group. You guys, okay. All right. You guys have just had a very harrowing time in the Temple of Tomoakan. You have had a very tragic turn of events in which one of your party members had to sacrifice herself in order to reactivate her connection to Saloon, just to send you back. She and your other party member they're both now forever lost into the realms of time. And she warns you when she sends you back, because of the act that she has done, defies the fabric of reality. You may not go back to anything, to a place or to a place or sequence of events that you actually recognize. As you guys teleport back into Faerun, you end up somewhere in the woods outside of Waterdeep.
Well, this is unusual.
You know where you are. You look around. You clearly know where you are. It is very familiar to you, but you're not at Durnan's table.
Yeah, Gregory, this is a bit unusual. Why'd we end up here?
Very interesting. We usually get sent back to the Yawning portal, but because the Tear of Saloon stopped working while we were in Tomoakan, and we had to get back here by different means, this probably might have reflected that.
You look down into your hands, Gregory, and the Tear of Saloon is there. As you look into it, it dimly shimmers, and you guys hear in your head, as you recall, the dragon god Kukul had sent his avatar, and it was this dragon coatl creature, and it was communicating with you directly inside your mind. without any known language, but it was transferring knowledge to you. And the Tear Saloon now is doing the same thing. In a very soft voice, the Tear begins to communicate to you. Chosen. Find them. There are more chosen. I have taken you to one.
So this is Gregory that the Tear is speaking to. Is that what you said?
No, it's speaking to both of you. You both hear it.
That sounds kind of like Lynn.
It does sound like Lynn. It's a telepathic communication. It appears that she is still with you in some form.
Well, I just got shivers, Gregory. I thought, does that mean that there's one of the chosen is close to the position where we're at now? We need to find him.
That would make the most sense. I would guess so. I would imagine that there would have to be somebody or other people that are chosen by Saloon.
So the new player, who is your character, and tell me a little bit about him, and tell everybody else a little bit about him.
His name is Ragmir Anvilfist.
Okay.
He is a cleric of Moradin. He was, in his younger days, he was a member of a church of Moradin in a small village that his father was the priest in. Very briefly, at one time as he was becoming a young man, the village was raided by orcs. His father was killed. He swore an oath against orcs. He finished his studies and then decided to start venturing out into the world to spread the word of Moradin and avenge his father's death upon any orc he finds.
Sounds great. Now tell me what is Ragmir doing around Waterdeep? Around these parts. Is there anything that's been happening? Does he have a reason to kind of come to Waterdeep?
Well, he has heard that there may have been a larger temple of Moradin there that he could study and perhaps pick up some work.
There is indeed a temple of Moradin here in Waterdeep. On your way to Waterdeep, I'm not sure where he is from, which direction he's coming from. But
he would have came down from the Sword Coast.
Okay. So on your way south, you had kind of just traveled along local inns, talked to the local farmers, found shelter, provided some alms as you are a priest, and you had heard about this big orc den, the blood fist orcs on your way down, and you thought to yourself, you know what, this is a perfect opportunity. Go in and destroy these orcs. They are raiding the villagers. They are just a menace to civilized people. So you gathered together a little party. You went in and you attempted to raid the orc caverns. You were successful in destroying most of the orcs, but the leader of the orc had a bunch of wargs. And as you killed the last orc, the wargs just got to you. They tore apart your poor party members beyond any form of reasonable salvation. They left you gravely injured. As you crawled out of this conflict, you thought to yourself, I gotta make it to the Temple of Moradin. And you began kind of traveling south, but you were just so heavily injured and had so much blood loss that you just passed out on the road. And that's when these two come along. And as Gregory, you and Gray come upon this poor dwarven cleric that has just passed out on the road. The Tear whispers to you, chosen. If you guys hadn't, and he's in a very remote part of the woods. If you guys hadn't come along, he probably would have bled to death out there.
So I look at Gregory and I said, "Did you hear that?"
Yeah, it seems like this dwarf must be the chosen. I guess we should help him out.
I agree. Is he passed out, John?
He is passed out on the ground. It's sort of like he's unconscious and has stabilized, kind of that sort of a condition. He's lost a lot of blood. He looks extremely pale. He appears to have taken some very severe injuries from wild animals. He has insignia signaling that he is a priest of the dwarven god Moradin. You guys know all about Moradin from the Forge of Fury.
Yes. Can I attempt some first aid?
Sure. What skills do you have to revive him? He is stable. He's unconscious but stable.
I could use medicine, I suppose.
Do you have that healing feat that gives him a hit point with medicine?
I do not have that one. Either that or I'll give him one of my healing potions.
Okay, you feed him a healing potion. Let me. You feed him a healing potion, and he looks a lot better. He's not as pale. There's now there's some color to his face. And he comes to. You have you start with 5 hit points, Ragnar. Quite a way to get the game.
Yeah,
5 hit points.
Okay.
I ask him what happened.
I was fighting orcs in a cave, and I killed them all. And the next thing I know, they come at me with these large warg dog creatures, and they kill all of my friends. And then I am hurt very bad. So I come out of the cave, and I know I've heard of this Temple of Moradin. I was heading that way, and then everything got really dark. And then here you are.
Orcs, I hate orcs. Are you sure they're all dead?
He looks at his flail, which has got a lot of orc hide and blood on it, and he goes, every one that this one hit.
You're not totally sure. Yeah, you're not totally sure because you were kind of you were pounced on by these animals.
It's quite possible that there could have been a few that survived.
Well, I think we need to get you fixed up at the first thing. My name is Gray, by the way.
Gray. My name is Ragnar Iron.
Yeah.
Anvil Fist. Forgot my name. I got hit hard.
Well, I got hit real hard. I like that.
I have plenty of my own healings. I can probably.
Oh, at this time, you've exhausted your spell slots. I mean, this was a brutal battle. You guys took on dozens of orcs, and you fought valiantly. But unfortunately, at the very end, they just happened to have overwhelmed you. So you're gonna need a rest.
Yeah. I think maybe if you could just help me to my feet, I can probably walk the rest of the way.
I think we ought to escort you to an inn at the very least. But where were you heading?
Waterdeep.
Waterdeep. Well, just so happens that we're heading that way as well. And
well, good lad. Help me up. I feel fit as a fiddle.
By the way, this is Gregory.
Hello, Gregory.
Can you two describe yourselves to Ragnar? Because well, can you two at least describe your characters to Ragnar?
Oh, okay. I'm Gray. Dablin is actually my last name. I don't usually use it, but I am a half-elf ranger/thief. I despise orcs. I mean, from listening to your story earlier out of a character, I despise orcs because they killed my mother. So we actually have something in common that I assume we'll find out sooner or later. Of course, me and Gregory has been doing the histiophage adventures. I also am a swarm keeper, which means I can use a swarm when I'm in battle to add additional damage to the enemies. Of course, being a ranger, I'm very close to nature. And I learned some thieving from a friend a long time ago, and also from a friend that was in our most recent party, Gregory.
Okay. My character, his name is Gregory Marsh. He is a human, and
Ah, by the time I get to know you, you'll be dead.
yeah, a human, and he's skinny with like the shaggy brown hair. He has an awkward composure, and he is a librarian and a magic user. And very often he has a very eccentric behavior. Very often he'll be speaking out loud, seemingly to no one in particular, which really he's speaking to his best friend, which happens to be his spell book.
All right. I like that. Sounds cool.
All right, so the two of you, you tell Ragmir about your story and the adventures that you've been having in this whirlwind of a tale in terms of what's been going on and how you two, because Ragmir, you notice that these two characters, they are just carrying piles and piles of gold. They're just hauling gold in these bags, and you're kind of wondering where in the world would they get this much gold? And they tell you about the adventures that they've been having. Also, the two of you, do you kind of reveal to him that he's the tier of Saloon is lighting up next to him?
Yeah, I actually say, and these adventures were given to us. We were chosen by the goddess Saloon, and as we was walking down this road, we actually heard in our minds from her that you were a chosen one as well. I think fate brought us together.
It seems that way.
And the three of you kind of head down into Waterdeep. What were you gonna say, Ragmir?
Just help me to my feet, lads. I'm fit as a fiddle. I'm ready to go.
All right.
He holds his hand up, like for you to pull him up.
Okay, as the three of you begin to make it down to Waterdeep, we fast forward back to the other group, and Durnan has just told you, he just gave you the key to his stable, and he said you can take his fastest horses. You have to go and find Elminster. And that's what he's kind of telling you to do. But right now it's raining outside and the weather's terrible. And Durnan says, you know what? Why don't you just take the night off? Take a rest, and you can head out in the morning. I need to spend some time with his book. And you see he kind of sits in his couch next to the fire and kind of eagerly starts flipping through the book describing your recent adventure. So you guys retire. You get out of Durnan's room. You have a drink at the bar. And you all retire to your rooms because you're just extremely exhausted. So in your mind, from your point of view, you had just fought Kamizots like half an hour ago. You guys are barely holding on right now. You're injured, and you go back to your room. Kayan, but before you even let yourself go to sleep, you're just too excited about the possibility of kind of getting some information on this item that you've acquired, and potentially just making a massive amount of profit on a unique cursed magical item. And you're kind of eager to get rid of it too, because it's been kind of haunting you for a while.
Very much.
Before you even go to sleep, you go ahead with your last bit of energy. You go out and you make that exchange. You go and you wrap this axe that you found in a piece of unremarkable cloth, and you put it in the drop point after letting Xanathar know that you want him to examine this axe, and you want him to kind of give you an offer on acquiring it. And then you go to bed. So the three of you go to bed. You sleep you sleep pretty soundly, and then Kayan, you hear a knock on the door. You go over.
What? Okay, we'll be right there.
You go over to the door and you open it, and the same package that you left is now at your door with what appears to be a note tucked in it.
is the shape of the package the same shape?
Yes, it looks exactly like when you wrapped it and dropped it off. So it's clearly Xanathar kind of returning this package to you with a message.
I'll take up the note and I'll leave the package on the floor while I read the note.
You open up the note. The note says, "Do not insult me like this again," and you see the note burn up in your hands.
No. God's cursed thing? No. I'll pick up the package and take it in my room.
Well, you pick up the package, but when you unwrap the package, you notice that first of all, when you pick it up, the weight is different. Something strange about it. So you unwrap the package, and it's not the axe. It is a piece of wood that is carved to look exactly like the axe. And as you unwrap it, a big puff of poisonous cloud just explodes in your face. Because you have been so weakened by this massive battle you've had, you don't even get a save. You just pass out from poison.
Wow.
Clunk, right, thunk, right on the floor. As you come to, and which is once again several hours later, almost dawn now. As you come to, there are soldiers at your door, and a soldier says, "There he is. Go get him." And these are Waterdeep. These are Waterdeep soldiers.
What's going on? I'm a free citizen.
Are you Kayan?
Who's asking? I might know a person named Ken.
The Council of Waterdeep. We all know who you are, and you're under arrest. They come up. There's like 6 of them, and they all come at you. You look at the window, and they look at you looking at the window, and they say, "Don't even try it. There's another dozen guards right out the window." You're under arrest.
I'm insulted at this heinous abuse of my person. What are the charges?
Murder of a child. And he comes over to you, and he takes out a pair of shackles, but these shackles are like glowing purple, and he puts it on your hand.
Whoa! Hey! Whoa! No need to be hasty. I haven't done anything wrong. I didn't kill any child. I was sleeping.
Save it for the courts, you murderer.
Now, that's no way to talk to someone that might be your dad. Like, just be easy here. Easy. Gentle. Ow, those are pinching my wrists.
He doesn't like that, so he roughs you up a little bit. He just kind of knocks your head. As you get insulting and combative with him, the guards just kind of rough you up. They seem to be very disrespecting of your personal space as they just haul you out. And as this happens,
okay, I'll go. I'll come. Enough. It's okay.
As this happens, John and Olaf, you hear the commotion. You come out of your rooms and you see Kayan being hauled away by these guards.
I immediately stop them. I run up and get in front of them and say, "Halt!
The guards look at you, and with the honorary respect of being a nobleman, he says, "My liege."
What is the meaning of you taking away our companion?
Oh, this man is a criminal. He's under arrest. Here's the warrant. And the guard shows you this warrant, this dictum by the city council to arrest Kayan, the adventurer, and it gives a very detailed description of Kayan, and it says on the bottom the charges are the murder of a child, and he says, well, this man is going to be arrested, and his court date is tomorrow.
Okay, well, I asked Olaf to look at it for authenticity. I mean, I know that Rob Shore was our person to check the authenticity.
Yeah, Rob Shore actually, because he was saying that he needed to go back to his ship. He actually has left and gone back to his ship, so he doesn't even know what's going on here.
All right, so I'm going to ask because I will, the character, my companions don't know, but my reading is not my strong point. So I kind of look at them and scrunch my face and read over it, and then I ask Olaf to check it because something doesn't sound right. These signatures here, they don't look right. Who is your commanding officer?
He gives you an officer named Officer Varn. My lord, he says. I'm following orders. This is an official warrant.
All right, I look at Olaf. Is it official?
Yeah. I go take a look at it.
I mean, above board, my character is literate, but he's not very good at reading.
Olaf, you can give me it was probably something intelligence based. Give me an investigation.
Khan's gonna he's kind of got his head down and he's realizing he's in for it, but when he hears Officer Varn, he's just gonna quip in, Officer Varn, oh darn, I bet he could tell quite the yarn. Maybe down at the barn.
And then, one of the soldiers just kind of chuckles, and the other one says, "Shut up, shut up, just shut up."
I look at him. I was like, Kayan, you're being accused of murder, and the penalty is death.
Yeah, so you do know that.
I'm very characteristic of Kayan.
Yeah, the murder of a child is a very serious crime in Waterdeep. He would be hanged if he were to be found guilty.
I am sure that this is just a giant misunderstanding. I very clearly did not kill a child. I've never killed a child. I've never wanted to kill a child. I've never even hit a child.
Olaf,
I don't even know a child.
Olaf, from your perspective, the document does seem legit.
Well, then, Olaf, let us accompany these good men and to making sure that Kanan arrives safely.
The soldier says we'd be happy to have you accompany us, my lord, as long as you don't interfere with our official duties.
Of course not. We just want to make sure everything was legitimate. So let us help you bring this brigand in.
So the two of you follow this trail, and as you leave the inn, you guys are pretty well known at this point. So on the outside the inn, the big crowd is gathered, and you see there's a lot of people in the crowd. Like, they're holding up signs, "Free Kayan."
What? Well, he's very popular. Kayan's brew is well known. It saved many lives.
Yeah, you guys are very well known, not just from Kayan's brew, but your adventures have been getting published over the last couple of months, and you guys have gotten a significant amount of fame at this point. So now it's become the talk of the town about Kayan getting arrested. Like, people knew about it before he was even arrested.
With equal parts of shame and guilt and secret pleasure at being recognized, I'm gonna walk kind of with my head up and just loudly, total misunderstanding. It's just a training exercise. Nothing to see, guys. It's all good. It's okay.
So they take you to the prison, and they lock you up in a cell. And the jailer looks at you and says, "Don't even try any of that funny business. Those are dimensional shackles." And kind of just leaves you there to brood. And John and Olaf, once you see that Kayan is actually being escorted to jail, you guys see him get locked up. Then you're escorted out, and you're kind of waiting in front of the courthouse.
Well, actually, while I'm there, I do have a question, and I can ask the person there at the desk. I filed official charges last time I was in town against Sir Roderick.
Oh, yes,
and that matter was investigated.
We were about to get to that, but yes,
was he brought to justice?
Oh, I was about to get to that later, but since you went ahead and asked the town council, yes, you go over there, and you start, and the town council says, update, Sir Ashford, about your case. We did the investigation in his charges against your nobility. I'm pretty sure these are fabricated. The problem is, you see, even though these charges are not real, if he brings these charges forward, we're going to have a hearing. And to have a hearing means we're going to bring your father in to testify. And if I know your father, he's not going to be happy about this. He says, unfortunately, this is the law. I am more than certain that these charges will be cleared and acquitted, but just being accused, you know how it goes in these circles, in the house of nobility. Just to be accused will bring scandal on your house.
Yes, that's why I'm hoping to avoid this, and I questioned his honor to a duel, possibly. I want to keep this as quiet as possible.
Well, since you brought it up, I looked into the laws, and why don't you come and speak to me tomorrow when I have the papers? I believe we may have a solution to this that will keep your father out of the courts, because if he goes to court,
that would be. I would rather not involve him. No, that's.
Yes.
Let's look at other options.
And he says, very well, come see me tomorrow.
What can you tell me about my friend here? This Commander Varn, he seems to know him.
Very terrible business. These are very serious charges.
When did this murder happen? We were in his presence.
Well, you see, it may not truly. It may be, the charges may be decreased. Rather than murder, I believe they're going to charge him with manslaughter, inadvertent killing of a child.
When did this happen?
It happened about 3 days ago.
We haven't been here 3 days. Well, wait, no, because he said we were only gone a few moments. This could have happened. So this could have actually happened last time we were in town.
It is something to do with a poisoning. He says that's all I know about this case. I'm afraid you'll have to wait until the court date tomorrow to find out what had happened.
Oh, well, I actually... Wait a minute. A poisoning? I kind of look at Olaf. Do you think that blackjack guy in Canaan killed someone? With his brew? I mean, I know I've gotten green at the gills by taking it. I'm a grown man. If a child drank this...
that is... very interesting, and I was thinking about using this stuff for a recipe. Oh my gosh!
Well, you would be in there with him.
All right. In the meantime, so let's clean up a couple of things. Number one is that I understand, Olaf, you're going to purchase property, and you have the intention of starting a restaurant. You already have ideas for starting flyers and stuff like that.
Correct.
So you do, on the way back from the courthouse, you do go into the council building and you purchase this property. I believe it's in a dock district where you want to start.
Yeah.
You own the property because you just drop all the gold up front. No mortgage, no rent. You just drop all and the guy just looks at you. You just drop a massive bag of gold in front of him, and you take the property deed. You are now the official owner of this property. Unfortunately, when you go and visit the property on your way back, you realize that it's a dump. It's in no way or form in good shape to be serving customers. It actually does not have any facilities in it. It's just a big empty space that used to be like a den for people who are addicted to halfling leaf.
Oh boy.
There's cobwebs everywhere. There's rat droppings. It's a mess.
Checking this place out, and I'm like, oh boy, this is gonna be a lot of work and a lot of gold.
Where's your mother Helga right now? Is she in town? You gotta call her.
She's in town. Yeah, she's in town. She's staying at an inn for the time being while I'm adventuring. You go over there and you're all excited and you tell her about this idea of opening your cafe and stuff, and you bring her over to this place and she takes a look around and she says, "Are you crazy? Just look at the possibility. Look how open it is. There's just tons we can do with this place."
She said, "This place is a dump," she says, and you see she's kind of like complaining as she starts walking down into the cellar, and in the cellar you hear her shriek at the top of her lungs, and she runs up. She looks like there's rats down there. Rats. Big, huge rats. The size of my head. So you better get somebody to clear those rats or I'm not touching this place. So she's all like angry. She's like, has a rolling pin. About to hit you with it.
Obviously, we need to find some first level adventurers.
She says,
correct.
Oh, so you guys are level 6. You're too good to clear rats out of an inn?
Uh-oh. I look at Olaf. My goodness. No wonder your father left.
Wow.
That escalated quickly.
She says, if you don't clear those rats out of the cellar, this building is not going to be up to code, and we'll be shut down within 3 days of opening.
I'll clear out the rats, man. Don't worry. I know what to do. I handled it before.
Okay, well, I'm not gonna run an encounter with rats, but
Yeah.
but you do promise her that you're gonna clear out these rats.
Yeah.
And you guys return to the Yawning Portal Inn, kind of a little bit defeated that Kayan's in big trouble and he may be hanging tomorrow.
But from what we gathered, though, he very well may be guilty of this. I know him and his little poison brew.
Yeah, you don't know how the court this trial is going to go, but it seems like the public is on the side because you see that there's protesters gathered at town hall with pictures of Kayan saying "Free Kayan."
Are they mostly peaceful?
They seem to be peaceful, but you see a couple of people walking around, shady types that might be looking to cause some trouble later.
Uh-oh.
But so far, nothing's been looted or set on fire. So you guys return to the inn, and when you return to the inn, that's when the three of you, Gray, Gregory, and our new player, Ragmir, that's when you get there. And you see these two other people.
All right, I'm just kind of leaning on Gregory and Gray because I'm still like half dead here.
Yeah, you're still badly injured, but you're not you're not gonna die if you at least get some rest.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's these two characters that bring in what appears to be an injured dwarf, and they kind of they bust in through the doors of the inn as you guys just got back to the inn.
What do they look like?
Well, that's why I asked them to describe themselves earlier.
Yeah.
So
right. So I mean, they don't look. They did not describe any kind of nobility at all. They seem like
Well, Ragnar, can you?
Dwarf rogues.
I know you're a dwarf, but can you at least give a kind of a brief description of what your character is looking like? I know he's injured too, obviously.
Yeah, he. You see a dwarf, long beard, dark brown beard, kind of braided down the front. Wearing plate mail, got a flail strapped to the side. He's beaten, bloodied, looks like he's been in a really bad fight. He's kind of leaning on the human because he's not sure the half-elf can hold him. Nothing against the half-elf.
So it's time. Olaf and John, why don't you describe your characters to these three that came in, because you've never met before, even though you've been on the same adventure for months and months. You had never met before, and as you walk in, the tear whispers "Chosen of Saloon" to the two of you.
As these guys walk in, and Olaf immediately sees this beaten up dwarf. Olaf, human male with dark hair, with a couple of sharp knives in his belt, and in a big old wooden club spoon. Looks like a club, but it's actually a giant wooden spoon also attached to him. He's gonna come running over to the dwarf, and he's just gonna start saying some magic spells and start healing the dwarf for a little bit.
Yeah, it appears that Olaf, you look at him, it's hard to tell just looking at him, but it appears that he has some command of magic abilities. And then how about John, your character?
Well, my character still, when they came in, Olaf and I were sitting at the bar, so when they came in, I kind of turned around in my seat, and I looked at them, and I quickly assessed them. I guess one of them looks like a forest rogue, the other one looks like a bookworm, and then you have this bloody, beaten-up dwarf that obviously is not very proficient at doing much but getting beat up. So I kind of just look at him, and I continue my drink, and I watch Olaf.
Well, can you just at least describe what you look like to them because they've never met you?
Yep. So I'm wearing full plate as well. I have a heraldic tabard over top of it. Obviously, a very noble bearing. His nobility is not the nobility of being, commanded by God that he should protect the small folk, but his nobility is kind of like most are beneath him. So he's very, very attractive. You do notice kind of a wild, murderous look in his eye, but he's tall. He's just a bigger built person, but you can tell without a doubt, especially with the heraldic tabard, he is some type of nobility.
Yeah, and he's kind of looking like he's just looking at you guys, just ignoring you, as the three of you kind of stumble into the bar. But Olaf seems to be very, very keen on helping this poor injured dwarf.
And after healing him up a little bit, I'm like, hey, let's get you some food and some drink. And hopefully that will help a little bit.
All right, thank you, lad. That might be helpful.
Yeah, Olaf, you got to target him if you want his... Oh, you did. Never mind.
Yeah, I healed him.
Okay.
A little bit.
So the three of you come in. The Yawning portal looks exactly like you left it. You're getting whispers from this tier of Saloon that these two are chosen. You look around for Durnan, and then after a while, Durnan finally shows up. He looks at Gray and Gregory, and he doesn't even recognize you. He just looks right past you, and he goes back to doing his bartending. It appears that Durnan doesn't know who you are, even though you guys have been working for him for months.
Wait, he doesn't know us?
No, the other two.
Oh, yeah.
They have entered your reality.
So I look at Gregory and first of all, I nod at the dwarf for helping our friend that we brought in, and I look at Gregory and kind of motion at him to walk over to the bar with me to have a word with Durnan to find out what's going on.
Sure.
So the two of you walk over to Durnan, and he looks at the two of you. He's like, "Can I help you?"
Durnan, don't you know who we are?
Should I? He's kind of looking at you like he's genuinely confused.
We've been working for you for a long time now. You should remember us.
That's preposterous. I've never met you in my life.
Have you heard of the history of Faj?
How did you hear of that? And Durnan looks at the three of you. The other two. And he's like, where did you hear that name?
I heard it from your lips. Durnan.
From my lips? Durnan says, that's preposterous. I've never met you, either of you, or that dwarf over there in my life. He needs some healing.
Hold on. Dwarf. Do we all hear that? Do we hear this as well?
Yeah. You're sitting at the bar.
Oh, well then I stand up and grab my sword out, and it's like, are these some type of rogues or musicians? No. Are they trying to steal the history? No, what's going on here?
Durnan says, hold on. No need to draw weapons. I'm sure there's a logical explanation for what's going on. And Durnan turns to the two of you. He's like, so you say you've been working for me for a long time. What exactly have you been doing?
And then Gregory takes the tier of Saloon and lays it on the counter in front of Durnan.
Durnan's jaw drops to the floor. How did you come upon that?
Hold on, we would see that. We were just chewed out about that stinking thing.
Exactly. You all see it.
So I'm like, they are rogues. They stole it from us. They stole it from Kian and set him up.
Should we roll initiative?
I hope not.
Durnan goes.
Ragnar looks at the whole thing and just kind of steps back. Y'all can.
Durnan says, John. Whoa, John. Calm down.
Thank you.
Durnan says,
that's above board, of course.
Durnan just says, I don't understand this at all. How did you come upon this?
I say another.
Durnan quickly grabs up the tier. And then he takes the tier up to you guys, and he holds it up, and it emits this dim glow. And he says, you're chosen. And you too, dwarf.
Chosen for what?
Oh, we've got a long conversation ahead of us. But I don't understand how you could know me and know about the historiophage, and I don't know anything.
Oh, this must have been a side effect of the aftermath of our adventure in Tomoacon.
Your adventure? It was their adventure. And Durnan points to John Ashford and Olaf.
Yeah, yes, which we were successful at, you rogues.
Hey, I'm not a rogue. I just come out of a cave from killing thousands and hundreds of orcs.
It looks like you come out of a cave from maybe several orcs having their way with you. It looks from the looks of it.
He walks over to him and looks at him up and down. He's probably chest height to him. Grabs his tabard, wipes some blood off his face with it, says, "How dare you speak to me that way?"
Durnan says, "There is no fighting in my inn." He says, I may be old, but I will put all of you in the ground if you try it.
And I look at Darren. You know that we accomplished that, and we were robbed. Ken had that, and that was stolen from him.
Durnan takes out the book, and he says, "I do know. It is written right here. As with the Forge of Fury, and as with the Sunless Citadel." He says, "As far as we know, you were the ones who accomplished these adventures. I don't understand how you could have done these and possessed the Tear Saloon." Durnan says, "This is very troubling. It's as if something had happened and you have been..." Durnan holds for like a few seconds and he says, it looks like some realization has come to his mind. Erased. He says, you must go to Elminster. You must go to him soon. All of you, Durnan points, all of you.
Who?
Durnan, I was going to speak with you of this matter, but Cain, there seem to be some problems. It's a small matter at the constable's office, but Cain is arrested.
Durnan says,
we cannot leave without him.
What?
A misunderstanding, I'm sure.
You have a murderer, or you have a criminal in your party, and you call us rogues?
Like I said, it's a misunderstanding for sure. But since we are law abiding, we gladly went down and accepted and heard the charges, and we're looking forward to our day in court. But Durnan, if we had your word and your support, I'm sure it would sway and help us in this matter.
Durnan kind of contemplates. He says, "We can't leave a chosen of Saloon." He says, "Go to his court date. I'll do what I can."
Very well. This court date is tomorrow. I don't know how you, and I kind of look at those three. You three are chosen as well.
Well, I don't see how you were chosen either, so I guess that makes us even.
I kind of shrug. Well, the book says that we were chosen, though, and we
Saloon said we were. So
finally, the dwarf just yells real loud, "Chosen for what?"
I kind of look at the dwarf, then look at my tabard, and then kind of just wipe it off briskly as I kind of grimace at him.
So the five of you kind of sit down, and I think that I guess the rest of them, to the best of their ability, try to explain to you what had been happening this whole time, where there is this horrible evil curse that is wiping away known history, and they've been going on their adventures to try to reinstall these powerful adventures that are known in the histories. It appears that both of you have each gone into the Sunless Citadel, as well as the Forge of Fury, as well as the Shrine of Tomoacon, and done those quests. However, it appears that the world, as you know it, has seized John Ashford and Olaf as the ones who have done this quest. And the other two, you're not known in this world. Well, you may be known in this world, but not for accomplishing this task.
Oh, hold on, John. We know, Olaf and I know for a fact that there are alternate realities of this world because we just experienced it with our last adventure. So I look at I mean, and you know, I know that sounds far fetched, but and I look at them and did something happen? I mean, if you went on this quest, then you know that there are many realities of this world that we live in. Have you been misplaced from your reality?
And then Gregory will pipe up and say, "That's a huge possibility, actually."
You hear
And
the tear whispers, and only Gray and Gregory can hear it. And the tear whispers to the two of you, "I will be with you always. Do not fear."
So I kind of.
So even though you guys are in the reality where you're not the famous ones who did this quest, it appears that the tear is speaking to you, not them. Because the tear has some sort of connection, some vestige of Lynn is still in there. And,
did you guys hear that? The tear is speaking. Did you hear her?
Hear what?
She was
the tear.
Being once the priestess of Silver Star Saloon. Her connection with Saloon is so strong that there's some part of her inside that is still able to communicate with you.
So I just asked Gregory if he would kind of explain the final moments when before we came back to this world of what happened to Lynn and what she said.
Yeah, Lynn or Gregory will convey that information to everybody in the room.
Well, they don't really know that information just yet. What had happened? Do you remember?
She was transformed. She decided to stay at Tomoakan in order to help the Tabaxi, so that they wouldn't have to be cursed. And of course, Tilden, another one of our members that hadn't been a member, decided to stay with her. But just before we made the chant with the tear to come back here, she told us that things might change and things might be different.
So as you guys share stories about the same adventures that you went on, you realize that these guys, when they got to the end of their adventure and they faced off with this evil Kamizots, they were forced to confront the Tabaxi as well. However, LD sided with the Tabaxi, and LD accepted his birthright to become Kamizots. LD put on the mask and became Kamizots, and the Tabaxi fought against them, and they had to kill all the Tabaxi, including LD. However, the other group conveys to you that LD had sided with them, and LD rejected his birthright to become Kamizots. And when he did so, he inspired the Tabaxi to fight with them against Kamizots. And they were able to fight and destroy Kamizots and keep LD alive. And knowing that doing so, in the end, would still doom all the Tabaxi to become Chak, one of their party members decided to make the sacrifice. She reconnected herself with Saloon, and through the divine light of Saloon, she stayed in Tomoakan in order to keep the Tabaxi from becoming Chak, and she ascended to divahood in doing so. And it appears that part of her consciousness still is in the tear Saloon that these two can hear.
Huh.
That is really interesting.
Well, but you were brought to this reality for a reason, and perhaps it is meant for us to work together. Maybe this next challenge requires all of our efforts working together.
Ragmir, do you have anything to say to this? Because there's a whole bunch of crazy talk. Apparently, you are a chosen of Saloon. You just survived a brutal orc attack, just made it to Waterdeep for the first time, haven't yet even been to the Temple of Moradin, and now you're getting all this crazy talk fed to you, and you're being told that you're a chosen of Saloon. What do you say? You got a big keg of ale next to you. You're drinking the ale. What do you say to this? Obviously, as a player, you have to join the party, but. What does Ragnar, the character, say to this?
You sound like you're crazy, but Who says I'm? So you say I'm chosen to be with ye?
That is what Tierra Sailing has told us.
Well, all right. Could I get a bath and a meal and some sleep first?
Durnan is happy to provide that here in the inn. He's been providing you food and shelter for the venturing parties here.
Well, I make sure I make it very clear we are not leaving without Kanan. He's a brother.
We have to figure this out.
So if they hang him, you're taking him? Okay.
If they hang him, they're killing us.
You can also raise him after they hang him. He would be a criminal.
Yeah, I could do it, and if you get it to me
just
quick.
hang him, and then a minute, and then just
Bring him back. And
Yeah,
we'll
so
away.
no, it's not the end of his character if he's found guilty. Just to let you know.
Well, but I believe my character believes he is guilty, so I'm kind of torn with that because I know that he's been peddling this brew.
You used the word pet. Oh, sorry, my character's not there.
Oh,
You're languishing in a cell somewhere.
He may have been peddling this brew, but it has saved us many a times.
That is very true.
John.
That is true. That is true.
That is true. So, just to put you up to speed, there's been the shady gnome potion vendor hanging around the inn, and he made an offer to Kayan a couple of ventures back. He has this special brew, quote unquote special brew. It's a healing potion, but instead of the standard cost of a healing potion for 50 gold, he's selling for 10 gold. However, the problem is that the healing potion doesn't always work that well. In fact, if you don't roll well, you get poisoned when you take this potion. And later on, in another subsequent adventure, this gnome guy, Belkin, went up to Kay and said, I'm making a fortune selling these. And Kayan actually helped him sell it. Kayan went out and talked to people, helping him sell it. And the gnomes, Belkin said, I want to name this Kayan's special brew. And
We should have known that.
Kayan more than happily agreed to that. Now this brew is renamed Kayan's Special Brew, and it's been, it's very popular. It's all over the shops.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So
this-
he very well may
this-
have done it.
This game.
It is pretty good. Let me give you some of this Ragnar.
Yeah, they do have a couple of bottles of it.
I got a couple of bottles. I can give a bottle of Ragnar.
Ragnar, you're not afraid of the poison because you're a dwarf. But you're kind of looking at it as it doesn't kind of look exactly like... Yeah, you're very familiar with healing potions. You kind of sniff it. It smells a little weird. The texture is off. The color is not right. You know this is not a standard healing. There's something weird going on with it.
So this person's trying to sell me one right now?
No, he's going to give you one.
I'm going to give you one because you're still a little injured. But
Where you-
I gave one to you.
Where did you get this thing?
We got it from Dolkin Pokin Shop.
And you've been drinking this?
It's actually saved our lives several
It
times.
saved my lives many a times.
Yeah, aye. He sniffs it again. Does he smell anything in it that he would recognize to be, well, either poison or at least...
I would like you to roll me a medicine check. Now, all skill checks in my games are in the dice tower. Saves and everything else are open. The skill checks because you don't know what the result is unless I tell you. But everything else, the result's obvious.
You said medicine check?
It would be a medicine check, yes. As you kind of examine this potion and you taste a little bit of it and things like that, you realize two things. Number one is most healing potions are created with some sort of divine magic infused into this syrup. This potion was not created that way. It was created with some sort of alchemical or animal reagents. This is not a potion that is connected with divinity and divine magic. However, as you taste it, it does have some sort of regenerative healing properties to it. But there are so many. It seems like there's so many reagents inside this potion that you don't even know what the effects would be. So this is something that you probably would not be recommending as a healing potion. Since you are a cleric, if you were to be going around healing people, you wouldn't feed them this.
Right. He sniffs it, kind of licks it, hands it back to him, and says, "Nah, lad, if you wish to drink that, you go right ahead. I'm not. I know how to make those things, or at least know how they're made, and there's no divinity to that at all. That's just pure... who
Goat
knows?
piss.
Could be goat piss, cat blood, frog warts. I don't know what is in it, but it's just as soon to kill you as to heal you."
Well, we know that to be true.
All right, so after
And
the
you
night,
still take.
yeah, they've been taking a lot because it's cheap.
Right. What? And we're money's been tight.
It's actually not a bad potion for a dwarf because you can't be poisoned. So if you probably would be able to take it without fear.
In a pinch.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you guys finish up the evening, kind of sitting around and exchanging stories, and you all take a long rest, ready for the next day. All right. The next day comes, and you guys first thing in the morning, you go over to the courtroom. The courtroom is just bustling with activity. There's protesters, guards all over the place trying to keep the protesters in check. But you guys, because you have some sort of relation to the parties involved, you are allowed to go into the courtroom. You get escorted into the courtroom, and the minute you come into the courtroom, the first thing you see is there are several dozens of armed guards surrounding the courtroom. In the corner of the courtroom, there's this wizard guy, and he's kind of looking at you. And he's kind of sniffing the air. He's got his detect magic spell on to make sure there's no shenanigans going on. And in the middle of the courtroom, the judge stands up, and they bring Kayan out, and he's in rags. Kayan, they have taken away your weapons. They took away your crossbow, and that is making you feel sick. You are affected as if by the poison condition because you're so sick without your beloved crossbow. So all your skill checks aren't looking really good right now.
Great. Just great.
Yeah. As if you had enough. You didn't have enough to worry about.
Bad enough you guys falsely accuse me. You gotta take away all my stuff, make me look like this drab bum.
Kane is brought to the defendant's stand. He sits there, and the court session begins. The Honorable Judge Foldor, this old grizzled dwarf, kind of gets on the stand, and he says, "Order, order!" He hits the stand with his gravel. He says, "Now, Kayan, warrior Kayan, is that you? Will you stand up and face your accusers?"
I actually get to meet my accuser?
Well, of
Perfect.
course, this is a court of law.
Of law. I will stand and hold my head high.
So as you stand up, you see on the other end, you see the prosecutor comes in. You've never met this guy before. What?
You broke up.
Oh, okay. On the other end of the courtroom, the prosecutor shows up. You've never actually met this guy. He looks like to be a very bookish-looking elf. He comes over with all these big stack of papers in a briefcase, and he lays them all out. And he says, "I am Prosecutor Adrian, and today, before you stands the accused, the criminal Kayan, who is thus accused of murder of a child. How do you plead?" The judge says, "How do you plead?"
Obviously not guilty. I did nothing wrong. I didn't hurt any child.
And you hear this big bustle from the crowd. Like this is arguing back and forth as you're sitting there looking. There's people who are like Team Kayan. They're like yelling and protesting, and the guards have to like kind of sit them down. And then you see the jury comes up. Now in the jury of Waterdeep, it's composed of 3 people. So you have 2 people and possibly a tiebreaker. And you see there's 3 people on a jury stand. There appears to be this kind of very noble looking human. He sits there stroking his chin, listening to the case intently. There's a very attractive human female. And then there's this kind of like this really old-looking, like gnomish kind of guy sitting there. They're sitting there across from the judge, and they're kind of listening intently to the court case. And the prosecutor, Adrian, gets up and starts presenting his case. He says, "Now you are the accused, Kayan the warrior, correct?" Again, asking to verify your identity.
I am the man known as Ken, yes.
And you are quite famous here in Waterdeep from your adventures, as stated here. And he brings out copies of The Hidden Shrine of Tomokon and The Forge of Fury, both of which have been recently published. You are the Kayan mentioned thus, correct?
Indeed, but you might enjoy the first adventure I was on, the Sunless Citadel, more. Might be a little more to your reading taste.
I have read both thoroughly, believe me.
Perfect.
Where is my thing?
You might have to ask Mrs. Judge.
Okay.
Oh, that's not the judge. It's the prosecutor. The judge.
The prosecutor.
The prosecutor's
okay,
job is
prosecutor.
to.
Hope Mr. Judge don't know that.
Yeah, the prosecutor's job is to make you hang, not the judge.
Sorry, I'm being a smart
That's
ass.
the wrong guy to say that.
Okay. It says, "Now, since we have verified your identity, can you tell me, are you the person referred to thus?" And he takes out a big scroll, and he unfurls the scroll, and this is what you see. Karen's Special Brew. Top quality healing potions for the discerning adventurer, infused with the power of Kayan.
I put your picture on it. Oh boy.
And obviously, it's obviously a picture of you, Kayan.
I will neither deny nor confirm that is indeed a likeness of myself, but I had absolutely nothing to do with the production of that poster.
You can give me a persuasion check to at least kind of sound. You're rolling at disadvantage here.
Oh no.
Does anybody want to do? You guys are just sitting in the audience. Does anybody want to do anything to help poor Kayan, who's about to be hanged?
Wait a minute. Let me look.
Kayan, you rolled a nat 1, and with a -1 to your nat 1, your total is a 0.
I'm going to stand, and I'm going to beg the judge for permission to speak on my noble friend's behalf.
The judge says, "I recognize you, Sir John Ashford. You may speak when Kayan presents his defense. Kayan, do you have any counsel?"
I don't, and I won't need any. I can defend myself.
Sir John Ashford, as a nobleman, you have the right to accept counsel on your companion Kayan. And John, you see that the clerk, that guy you were talking to about your family, he's looking at you. He's like shaking his head. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I walk up. I'm not going to do the raise dead thing. I'm going to do everything I can to save Can. He and I are close. I walk up and I compliment the judge for the cut of his robe. I tell him that he looks very regal, and I look over at the prosecutor and I kind of bow and I thank the prosecutor for being so thorough in his investigation and looking into this matter because he is truly the shield of the common folk, and he protects them from from the dangers that this world presents.
Oh, I like that. Roll me a persuasion on that.
Perfect. All right.
Because what we're doing here is a skill challenge, which is a staple of 4th edition, but nobody really plays 4th edition anymore. But I've stolen it from 4th edition. Actually, the prosecutor looks very impressed. He's like, "Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, Sir John." And he kind of gives you a smile. He's very happy that you complimented him. He says, but I have to do my job, and really the case is very much stacked against your friend here. And
I kind of open with an open face. I put my hand. Yes. I completely understand. You know, some of us are called to take the shield and sword and go into harm's way. Some of us are called, like you, good sir, to stay back and keep those in the town safe and protect the law and order that we have a place to return to if need be.
Oh, so, thank you so much. Allow me, honorable judge, to call my witness. And he says, Mary, will you take the stand? And this really kind of shaggy-looking woman, she looks really, really sad, comes up and sits at the witness stand. And the prosecutor goes up to her and says, Mary, now I'm very sorry for your loss, but it is your son, Toblin, who has recently died. Can you please tell the court, these good people, the circumstances of his tragic death? And Mary she's halfway sobbing while she's saying this. And she says, Toblin, he was such a good child. And, after she gets consoled a little bit, she goes on. And she says, you see, Toblin was struck with a terrible illness when he was very young. He had a terrible disease, a blight, and we had tried to heal him, but I'm only a waitress at the cafe, and I don't make much money, and I couldn't afford all the healing that the temple would charge for his treatment. But then I heard about Kayan's special brew, and then she starts crying, and she says, and the man who sold it to me told me that it could cure young Toblin's disease. I only had a few gold to my name, and I gave him everything I had because I was hoping that it would cure my young Toblin. And then I gave it to him, and and she starts crying, and then the judge asks if you want to cross-examine the witness.
Oh, absolutely.
I 100% do.
Oh, I said, I look at Kanan. Kanan, please, let me handle this matter.
If anybody else,
not look well, my friend.
If anybody else in the party wants to try something, you may.
I go over to the lady and with a very, very sincere look. How old was young Toblin? This is terrible.
He was only 6.
Oh my goodness, only 6. He was just in the prime of his youth. This is terrible. There is an old tradition where I come from called the blood price, because these things happen, and we have learned through civilization that there is no good in taking one life for another. That's just not just. However, we cannot bring young Toblin back. What would you say now? How does this woman said she's a waitress? She's very, very poor. So, what would you say if we offered to pay the blood price, say 500 gold pieces per year of young Toblin's life? Mayhaps that will help you with your grieving.
You may roll a persuasion on her again.
Oh yeah, well, that's a ton of money, but Kane's rich.
She says that would help my 4 other children. She says, I don't blame you. And she kind of blurts out, I don't blame you or anybody for doing it, but somebody has to pay for telling these lies.
And I look at the prosecutor, noble sir, I know that you've heard of our meager deeds, and there's still much to do. Can you please find it in your very, very generous heart to allow us to pay this lady the blood price and let my friend continue to go back and champion this city?
The prosecutor says,
"Pay for any sick child I did not kill."
So Kayan blurts that out, and then the crowd just goes wild.
Oh no, look at Kayan. No, Kayan. No, we have a deal.
What kind of defense is this?
Gray would
You're
love to
basically
say
saying
something
I'm
possible.
guilty, but will pay gold for my innocence.
Now the prosecutor says that is very well spoken, Sir John, and I very much, we very much, as a city, appreciate your willingness to be so generous to a grieving mother. But the unfortunate facts are that the death happened, and unfortunately, the suspect is the one to blame, and we must obey our laws.
Well, Gray would like to speak. Can I?
Yeah,
Yes, Gray, you may speak, but you may not be recognized since you're like a woodsman.
Yes, I'm new to this town, but I'm very well aware of the feats, the heroic feats done by Kayan in the to help the people not only of Waterdeep but of the entire world, and obviously his heart is in the right place. And I would just like to ask the mother of the child, who did you purchase this potion from?
Oh, I purchased it from the good gnome Belkin.
Ah, so you did not purchase it from Kayan, and so Kayan, I know that he probably, after speaking to some of his friends and learning more about him and having known exactly what had happened in the adventures that he was on, he probably created the potion in order to help the poor. But it's not necessarily him that sold the potion, so I don't think that he can be blamed directly.
Oh, yes,
for killing your son.
That's a very smart assertion. I'd like you to roll an insight check in the assertion that you made in terms of the wisdom of what you just had said.
Okay.
Oh, the crowd kind of starts whispering, and you see that you see that some of the you see the juror when you look at the jurors, you see that kind of noble looking juror kind of gives an approving nod at what you said. And then once that is done, Adrian, the prosecutor, calls a second witness. And he says, now I call upon Glubersmax. And he says, Glubersmax is our resident alchemist here in Waterdeep. His skills are known throughout, and he can give us a proper examination of what exactly is in this healing potion. Now, it is even if you are not found guilty of the crime, it is a crime to falsely advertise a potion for something it is not. The Adrian says, and then you see this another gnome come up, and this old guy with these glasses, and he's got this little focusing magnet on focusing magnifier on his glasses and stuff, and he comes up, he sits down, and he says, Yes. So I've analyzed the components of this healing potion, and indeed it is not a healing potion per se. You see, this has been created with 15 parts a gut of rat, 12 parts toad eyes, and 1 part hide of troll. And you see, the components of the hide of the troll are what create healing properties. But troll skin is very poisonous, and as it heals you, it can at the same time kill you as well. Do you wish to cross-examine the witness?
No.
I think
I look back at the other party. Gregory, please, can you?
Olaf
more.
Is going to get up. Hang on. Olaf is going to get up and say, I disagree with this assumption. I'm going to prove that the potion is one of healing properties and does help. Yes, you may get the side effect of being sick, but it does heal you sometimes.
Okay.
I personally have been saved My life has been in jeopardy, and this potion has saved me.
Olaf, I will allow you to roll a medicine for this. To tout the qualities of this Kayan special brew, despite the fact that it's not technically a healing potion.
Well, I thought that this person, maybe I misunderstood. I thought this person's accusation wasn't whether it healed or not. I thought his accusation was it's not being presented because it's made with all this crap.
His accusation is that Kayan is guilty of murder because he sold this potion that had the potential to harm, and that's what happened to the young kid, and that's why he brought this witness.
Can Ragmir speak?
You can all speak. You're all Kayan's only shot because he's got disadvantage on all his checks.
Ragmir stands up and walks up to the prosecutor.
Honored dwarf of Mordredin, it is a glory to have you in our presence.
Thank ye. It is also lets you know that I am also the cleric, and I know these potions. And no, this potion is not an actual healing potion, but it does have healing properties. Where is the mother? Where did she go? I have a question for the lady.
Oh, she's still there. She sat down.
Madam, you bought this potion from a person who said it was a healing potion and it would save your son.
Yes,
correct?
Belkin.
Okay. And you said your son is how old?
He was 6.
And you gave him the whole thing.
I was desperate. I had no money, and he was getting sicker and sicker.
That is not my question. That's not my question. You gave him it to him all at one time, the whole thing?
I gave him 4 bottles.
My God, woman! You killed your own kid!
And she starts crying and screaming. Let me see which check would be most maybe. I don't want to make you roll an intimidation on that. but that's the closest thing. Roll an intimidation on that.
All right.
Oh, the crowd goes a little berserk. You see that female jury member, she just kind of shakes her head angrily because she's identifying with the mother. The crowd kind of...
Of course.
But, madam, I mean no disrespect, but just listen to me. He's a child. He's small. You should give it to him in doses. Did this person not tell you this?
No, he told me that it was a miracle cure for everything.
Was this person that told you this guy here, this K run in rags? Was it him?
No, Kayan's the one who advertises the potion. It was Belshkin, the potion vendor.
I submit to you then, prosecutor, you're trying the wrong man.
You know, and then
that would be like saying the maker of my armor should be sued if I am hit by an orc in the head and die.
That does make sense.
And I'm not wearing a helmet. It makes good sense.
So after your cases are presented, the judge kind of summarized the case. He says, well, in this case, it appears that although this potion is not a true healing potion, it does have properties of healing. It is advertised, as you can see, as a healing potion, and clearly advertised and supported by the defendant here. He says, however, Kayan, you could speak at any time. Would you like to speak?
I'd be better off if you don't.
Yes, you may speak at any time, but remember, this is a skill check. I'm counting your successes and failures.
No, it's fine. Let's move forward.
Oh no, you may speak at any time. Would you like to say something to the court?
Nope.
Gregory was going to say something, but...
Oh, Gregory, would you like to say something to the court?
Yes. Now, the potion in question, okay, it's advertised as a healing potion, even though it technically isn't a healing potion, even though it's made from troll skin, which has healing properties, which can also be poisonous. The person who sold this potion should have known the ingredients thereof and should have not recommended it for a child.
Oh, that's a very astute point. Give me an intelligence on that.
Just a raw intelligence check?
Raw intelligence, because I don't think anything else applies per se. And your intelligence is high. You know, you hear the crowd is very won over by your argument, and the judge changes what his statement to say that, and you make an astute observation, Sir Wizard. Although this potion may have been exaggerated in its advertisement, it had never been advertised to cure young Toblin's specific disease. Although the potion vendor who sold it seems to have claimed it did.
That's his word against her word.
Says, and then the judge kind of after a recess, the judge calls the jury up. He says, "Jury, what is your verdict on Kayan the warrior?" And first, the nobleman gets up. He looks around and he says, "Not guilty."
Yay!
And the crowd just screams because they're all most of them are on Kayan's side. The woman gets up and she looks like she's been scorned and angry. She's identifying with Mary and she says, "Guilty!" She sits down angrily. The third one, the young kind of the young gnomish looking guy gets up and he says, "Oh, I don't know," and you see him tapping the floor. I don't know, and he's kind of looking back and forth, and the whole crowd is held in suspense. And he says, tallying your skill challenge, he says, "Not guilty." And the whole crowd bursts out in a cheer.
Yay!
But then, as this happens, the door of the courtroom busts open, and this figure walks in. Where's my figure? Damn it, this Fantasy Ground update, make things just disappear. This guy walks in. He says, please hold the proceedings. I have a statement to make. And the judge looks at him and he looks at the judge. And it looks like this guy is some figure of authority and renown because the guards just let him walk in. And he says, "I am Admiral Lacroix of the Luskin Navy, and I demand extradition of this criminal here." And he points to Kayan, who had just gotten off of hanging for murder. "This man is a wanted criminal, a dastardly pirate. And even if your courts find him not guilty and acquit him, he will come to Luskin and hang for his crimes there." And the whole crowd explodes.
Gregory stands up and just says, "What did he do in Luskin?"
"Oh, he did a lot," he yells. And then the judge says, "Admiral Lacroix, sit down. You have no jurisdiction here. You cannot come into a Waterdeep courtroom and make demands. The treaty between Waterdeep and Luskin separates our court systems." And Admiral Lacroix says, that's bullshit. And he slams the table angrily. And he points at UK and he says, "I will have you. There's a price on your head that will buy me an island."
Get in line.
Admiral Lacroix...
Plenty of people apparently after my head.
The guards come up and put their weapons towards this guy, and he actually backs off a little bit. He sheathes his sword. And he looks really calm, but he's still got these piercing eyes just fixed on you, KN. And he comes up to you, and he says, "There is a 20,000 gold price on your head for piracy and murder. And I have a personal interest in taking you back to the Luskin prisons. This place will be a spa compared to what you'll experience there. And if I can't have you today, I'll have you sooner or later. He says, you know where the treasure is. And he whispers so only you hear. He says, it was a Captain Phenolius that told me that you are the only one who knows where the treasure is. Right before I slit his throat while he was hanging upside down on his mast. I will have that treasure, and I will have your head, he screams out, and then he storms out of the courtroom.
The good Captain Phenolius.
So that ordeal being over, you are unshackled and allowed to leave with the rest of the party.
Okay.
And so, Kay, and as you walk out, you notice that the party is there's these 3 other people that actually spoke out on your behalf during the trial. Your weapons are returned, and as you get that beloved crossbow back, you're feeling a lot better. Your poison condition ends.
Excellent. As I, with no shame, quickly don my clothes right there in the courthouse. To hell with all the judge and the ladies fainting. I'll give a wink to any of the ladies that are looking in my direction. Not to worry, ladies. I've seen plenty of booty.
The lady, one lady comes over and slips you her. Well, it's not a phone number; it's her address.
Oh, no.
There's no phones, obviously, but she slips you a little piece of paper with her address on in your pocket. And she blows you a kiss.
Okay. Excellent. So I will, I guess, don my accoutrements and all my personal effects and double check that everything's there. And do I feel the familiar shape in my backpack as I put it on?
No, it's not there.
Oh, that's right. I was tricked. Good.
Something
So it
had
wasn't a
happened.
dream.
Yeah, it's not. You don't know where this axe is.
That is all to the good. But I have a score to settle with. Nope, never mind. I will leave the courthouse before I say more.
Who are you settling the score with? Xanathar or that other dude that came and threatened you just a moment ago?
Well, that other dude, I'm not sure exactly who that is. I think I do. But I think he's more of a friend than anything. If he got rid of old Captain Phenolius, I don't have to worry about him anymore. That's good. But John and Olaf, who are these guys?
Oh,
They look familiar. Didn't we see them? Didn't I see them at the Yawning portal?
Yeah, okay, and since you've already got a description of them, you can give a little bit of a description of yourself to them, since this is the first time you've met them.
Oh,
And
excellent.
then everybody will have been introduced.
All right.
One hell of an introduction to them.
Yeah, you guys.
Let's meet this guy in court.
Yeah, you know, Kayan is a kind of a shady type. You guys know already.
Indeed. Ken is a average-looking human. He's not very good-looking. Doesn't have chiseled looks or anything like that. But he's got a mop of unkempt, dark brown hair, flashing brown eyes. He's dressed in mostly mottled blacks and grays. He has a hip, like a dark brown leather hip holster that has a nice ornate-looking hand crossbow in it. That, to him, just seems like a normal weapon, but to every casual observer, you will see that his hand constantly goes down to touch it and like rub it and make sure it's there. He has a rapier on his other hip, and he has a long cloak, also in mottled shades of black, has wrinkles around the corners of his eyes and at the corners of his mouth. Stands a little over 6 feet tall, right around 210 pounds or so. has a way of walking that almost looks like not dancing, but very light-footed on land. But anyone that's been on a boat would recognize that he's used to being at sea. So he has a way of walking to compensate for the motion of the ocean. I guess that's it.
So now that the party, thank you. And now that the party is together, why don't we take up our bathroom break? Your destination is the Misty Forest over here. It's gonna, with these fast horses, it'll only take you about a day to get there. So you guys set off on the trade route to the south of Waterdeep. And as you go along the trade route, you guys just get past Daggerford. I don't know if you have any reason to go to Daggerford, but you just passed Daggerford. And as you pass Daggerford, on the way, a bunch of soldiers stop you. There is a soldier, and he comes up, and he's well armored. He's got these two people following. He looks like he's the captain. And he's got these two other kind of mercenaries or soldiers following him. He is wearing like this plate mail. He looks heavily armored. He's carrying a sigil. He's got a big flowing cape. He's got a helmet on. He says, "Hold, good travelers. May I have a word with you?" You guys are on horses, and they're on foot.
I'm sorry,
Okay,
sir,
yeah.
you'll have to speak up over the clippity-clop of my horse's hooves.
Well,
I didn't hear
yeah.
your request.
You slow down a little bit, and then he stops you and he says, "I was wondering. I am looking for a fugitive by the name of Kayan. Do you know who it is?" And he looks at you, Kayan, but then he looks right past you. He doesn't seem to recognize you. There's a fugitive by the name of Kayan, apparently a very dangerous pirate with a price on his head. Really would like to know where he is.
Yeah. Well, how much is the price?
Oh, and he starts laughing. Oh, well, I believe it's about 20,000 gold at the moment, but I contract for my superiors, and for my part, it's a few hundred. But it's a mercenary's life.
Well, good luck with that. I hope you find
down
a police
from-
safe.
Whoever's got the
I
highest,
thought I might have.
whoever's got the highest religion, roll me a religion check.
Not I.
I'm
Ragmar.
Ragnar, how's your religion? Ragnar, you recognize that on his shield there is an insignia, and it's a very special insignia. It represents one of the storm lords of Talos, the god of thunder. This guy seems to be a pretty high-ranking official of Talos.
Well, I'll just tell everyone.
Yeah. not necessarily, not a very good god. More of an evil god, but known to have mercenaries.
Well,
This Kane
Son.
guy you're looking for. Is that what you said his name was?
Yeah, Kayan.
Kane or Kalane or something like that?
I believe it's spelled, and he takes out a piece of paper, KN with a KE-AN. You've heard of him? You know where he is?
Okay. Sure.
wait. I think
I
I've
heard
heard.
something about that.
I've heard of this guy. I think they
Oh,
just hung him
really?
in Waterdeep.
Yes, we were in Waterdeep, but they said that they left Waterdeep heading this way. That's why we're here.
Really? You heard he was hung in Waterdeep? I heard he was only up in Silvery Moon as a merchant guard.
Oh, is that so? That's unusual. Oh,
Are we sure we're talking about the same guy, right?
He looks at his guards.
No, what'd you say his name was again?
KN.
Kameen?
KN.
Kuman? No, Common?
Oh, well,
Yeah.
there must be
I think that's the name I heard. Yeah,
Must-
it's the Silvery Moon's where you want to go.
must be a mistake. Perhaps we should go check there.
Yeah, you do that.
Yes.
Happy travels.
And the three of them just kind of walk off as you guys continue along the path. You guys reach the Misty Forest,
You enter the misty forest and kind of look around. You are given directions by Durnan to find a boulder with the insignia of a feather on it. And as you guys are kind of looking around, you can't find anything that he describes, even though you follow his directions to a T. And you see on the only thing you see is that there's a little hut in the woods.
Does it look occupied?
Yeah, there's smoke coming out of the chimney, like a fire's burning.
Are there any horses or animals around this hut?
There's like some goats.
Okay.
I'll ride up as close. Is there a fence around this little hut, or is it just kind of?
Yeah, there's it looks like it's been dwelled in. There's a fence around it. There's a small garden. Like a small natural, small woodsman's hut.
I'll ride up to as close as I can without going over through the fence, and I'll call out, "Ho there! We're traveling the forest and have need of directions. Anyone there that can help?"
You wait a couple of seconds, and then slowly the door creaks open, and this old lady comes out. Hold your horses, hold your horses. Who are you? Huh? You can see that she has really bad arthritis. She's slumped over. She has a walking stick, and she's like, what are you doing on my property?
Oh, we're traveling through the forest looking for a friend.
Oh, that's nice of you. What friend?
Just a wizard who's in doing some research.
No wizards. Haven't been any wizards here.
Oh, I didn't think so. I was wondering if you might know of a place in the forest where there's large boulders.
Well, sure. There's boulders all over the place. You can see there's a boulder right over there.
Oh, perfect.
She points to a boulder, like right, just a couple of paces away from the house. Why are you looking for boulders? Are you crazy?
No. We're looking for a particular boulder. The directions we were given you'll look over to, I think it's Olaf, or was it Gray that had the little crumpled up piece of paper from Durnan that had the insignia of the feather on it?
She looks at the insignia. She's like, what is this? I can't see very well with my eyes being so old.
It's like a feather insignia, and we were told to look for a boulder with this mark on it. That's where our friend would be.
Why would you be putting feathers on boulders in the middle of these peaceful woods?
As a waypoint or a marker, so anyone that knows what they're looking for can find it.
Why are you looking for this friend here in the middle of these peaceful woods?
We have come to help him with his research and hopefully get his help with a problem we have back in Waterdeep.
What kind of research would somebody be doing in these peaceful woods? Who is this friend you're looking for anyway?
A pretty powerful wizard. I think he likes to keep his name to himself, mostly.
Perhaps. Well, if you want to go look at some more boulders, there's some boulders over there. And she points to, like, another direction on the other side of the forest.
Perfect. Okay,
Well, okay. Does anyone else have any ideas?
Anybody else have anything to say to this old lady over here?
Well,
Olaf will just say out loud for her to possibly hear. I guess Durnan might be a little wrong on where to find our friend.
Who's Durnan?
Who Durnan? No, he's just a friend of ours in Waterdeep.
What's that? Durnan?
Yeah, he's the keeper of the Yawning portal.
Okay, if you say so.
He's the friend that is in need of Elminster's help. So he sent us here to help Elminster.
Elminster! She starts laughing at you.
Oh, so you know of this Elminster?
Well, yeah, you know, he's my best friend, just like, you know, a Chardalon and Vecna.
Oh, this little
Excellent.
old crone. Well, thank you very much for your assistance, and we are sorry to bother you, and we hope we did not inconvenience you.
She just turns around and waves her hand and goes back into her hut.
Duh. Some peasants just deserve to die. So, okay, well then, I guess we can continue our search.
Yeah, she doesn't look like she's that far from death.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. But that's okay. So let's be on our way then.
So you guys turn around and head towards another set of boulders that she pointed you. Nothing. You look over every single boulder. You don't see anything that resembles this feather.
I think it's going to be like a magical. So we're going to have to. Can someone cast detect magic? Because I don't think that the normal eyes might be able to see this marking.
Anybody have any skills that can help out here?
I can cast detect magic.
You just gotta give it 10 minutes.
But I'm not exactly sure.
Gregory, you cast detect magic. There is no magic on these stones.
Okay. So it's not magically hidden.
What did Durnan say for us to do here exactly? Was it follow the road?
So Durnan gave you very clear directions on following the road and where to go in the forest. That's when you got to the hut. He said that there was a boulder there with a feather on it, but you looked around, there's no boulder with a feather on it.
Right, but that was back at the hut.
Maybe it's in another part of the forest.
No, we went to the right place. It was back at the hut. So, can we go back at the hut? I think there's an illusion there. Something's blocking us from seeing it.
So you guys go back to the hut, and the old lady, she's still there. She's tending to her garden, and you can, she's sitting there all frail and trying to pick up the hoe and and tend to her carrots.
Olaf is gonna blink Pepper into our plane and ask him to kind of do a fly around to see if he can boulder anywhere.
As Pepper appears, she's like, back! And she starts chasing Pepper with her stick. Get out! Get out!
So, well, I think we're gonna. It's right here. We're just not seeing it.
And outside of our tracks from our horses, are there any indications or signs of other trails or paths that lead away from this place?
Not that you can tell.
Well,
Sounds to me like this wizard. Gregory would know his name in game because he's got the keen mind fate out of game. Elminster is his name. I'm sure Elminster.
As a player, I'm sure everybody knows Elminster, or to some degree.
Right. Yes.
Okay.
He's probably the type. If that would live in a place like this, because it's like a place where it's like, all right, you don't want to be found, and because he probably would live in a place like this so that he knows that he can't be found and no one will bother him, even by accident.
Very much. As mages get powerful, they want to just live a solitary life.
Right.
But Minster, I mean, he's been in so many. He's done a lot of stuff, even though he's an old, powerful wizard. He went to hell recently. I think that was his the last book about him.
Could Ragnar? You say this feather is supposed to be painted on a stone or engraved in it?
Said on a stone.
Yeah, on a stone.
Could he use his stone cunning ability and roll a history check to see if there's anything he might be able to figure
He
out?
absolutely can. Which stones are you looking at?
The ones they've been looking at. I guess.
The ones the ones we were directed to.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, those stones. You look at those stones; they're natural rock. They're not. They're not. There's nothing unusual about them. They're just natural rock that form with earthquakes and things like that. You don't see any sort of any of them having been manipulated in any way.
Okay, he'll just kind of lean up on his horse as high as he can, stand up in the stirrups, and kind of look around at all the other rocks and use the same his stone cunning ability and see if there's anything that looks not natural with the stonework.
Not those stones that you were looking at that you've been directed to.
Okay.
Maybe the feather's invisible.
Right. That's kind of what I said earlier. I don't know.
Gregory, you recently paid a massive amount of gold to buy the robe of eyes. And if you're wearing it, everybody sees that Gregory has this big robe on, and there are these animated eyeballs blinking on his robe. This allows you to see invisibility within radius. And as you go near those stones, nothing.
Okay. So it's not invisible. All right.
When we get back to the hut with where the old lady resides, can I ask her, is there a place in the woods that's quieter than most, where most of the animals don't go, or where hunters might avoid?
She looks at you and gives you a warm smile, and she says, "This is the most quiet place in the woods."
Interesting.
Yeah, I think this is our person. He's just playing coy.
Yeah, any skills that can help you here? Anybody
Insight.
wanted?
I mean, all I have is insight, but just something's doesn't sound right here. I mean, obviously.
Okay, then you may roll an insight. You think something's fishy going on with this lady. She's not telling you everything. You don't think she's outright. You're not sure if she's outright lying to you, but she's may not be telling you everything.
Okay, so I asked her, can we help her with her chores? We are going to take our ease, and we have some time today. Can we help you with your chores?
Well, the chickens need feeding, and the garden needs some tending. Oh, my arthritis. Ugh.
Well, and I look. Ragmir is very good with some holistic natural herb, and perhaps we can all get down and help with these chores and maybe familiarize ourselves a little bit better.
Oh, that would be very nice. I like a man who respects his elders. So Ragmir, you go in with this old lady. She tells you later on, her name is Ms. Northrop. You go in and you kind of help her. She just has a lot of aging, a lot of weathering of her hands. Like she can barely hold her walking stick and everything because of bad arthritis. And you help her out just by treating her a little bit, easing the pain. But you can't really fix old age. And you guys start tending the garden. And as you pick up the hoe and start tending the garden, you're kind of just digging up dirt and loosening the soil. Clink! You hit something.
Yeah. Well, hey guys, look at this.
All right, let's check it out.
It seems you hit a rock. Right smack in the middle of her garden.
Oh, perfect. We look at it. We uncover the rock in the middle of the garden.
The rock is buried deep within the ground.
Perfect.
Kyan will kind of look up from herding the chickens, I think you said she had.
Yeah, feeding the chickens.
Yep.
So Kyan's trying to round up the chickens. What'd you find, guys? What'd you find?
Well,
Stupid
we had a
chickens?
rock, but
Stop.
I don't think that this rock belongs here. Maybe when Ragmir gets out here from staying in the shade, he can tell us if this rock. I don't think this rock is naturally here. This is someone placed it here. And let's while we're waiting on Ragmir, let's try to uncover the rock.
You guys start digging, and you get like 3 feet, and you realize that this rock is even bigger than that. And you ripped her garden to shreds to just dig out this rock. You have no choice. It's right in the middle of her garden.
Ragmir will
Ragnar, you come out and you see this rock. It looks weird right off the bat. Do you have a stone cutting roll? Oh, what is the stone cutting roll? That's always I've always been curious.
The stone cutting just gives you a skill +6 to history.
Oh, then please roll that history then. As you examine this bizarre looking stone.
Make sure it adds that +6. Yeah,
Well,
it does. It looks like
Well, then it just now.
well, he would know if it did.
This rock is made of limestone, which is not present in these woods. This rock doesn't belong here. It was put here with magic.
Is my detect magic still on?
Tell them that.
Your detect magic is still on, and nothing. The whole house, the old lady, everything around the house. There's nothing magical, but the rock is.
Okay, what school of magic is coming out of the rock?
I would. The closest would be transmutation.
Okay, so this rock was either... So this rock was definitely put here by some form of transmutation magic, either by levitation or maybe it was another rock that was just turned into a limestone. Interesting.
So you guys really have got caught on to something here. This rock doesn't belong here. Well, you start digging. Clearly, it's a boulder. So
Perfect.
You dig
That's what
more.
we needed.
You dig even more, and you uncover most of the boulder, and you find that emblem of a feather engraved right into it. The it's a glowing with a magic when you see it.
Well, we can't leave this after we find that. We can't leave the garden like this. I mean, it is something.
No, we can't. We gotta... If we can move the boulder somehow to another spot so that it's not disturbed and her garden's not disturbed, that would be great.
The garden's already gone.
Oh no! Wait, that's.
So she's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, you just have like a pile of half-grown vegetables next to it.
Oh well, let's see. What are we supposed to do when we found the boulder and the feather? And we'll try to make it right once we get back.
Durnan didn't really say what you're supposed to do. He just said, "Find this," and that's where Elminster's secret location is.
So this is the secret location. She is who we were looking for.
Well, one thing is that Gregory detected no magic coming from her hut or her.
But there's transmutation magic coming out of the rock.
Oh, the rock is magical, no doubt.
So the rock could be changing everything.
Yeah. Or it could, and there's lots of different transmutation spells out there. There's levitation, there's polymorphing, there's like...
So, is there anything that Gregory or some of the more people of magic notice about the feather that's on the rock?
The feather appears to be an emblem, but it's just bristling with powerful magic.
You know what I want to do?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
I want to ritual cast Identify on the rock.
Okay. Give me a second.
While this is going on, I'm going to take some of the vegetables and try to keep north. Keep my
Why don't we just give her some gold?
Well, she's a hermit that doesn't have use for money.
She doesn't have use for it. We're going to have to clean this out. Olaf is 100% right. We got to make this right.
Well, she could go buy some.
You didn't care about the dead kid, but you don't want to mess with.
I know.
Hey, you got to respect your elders. You know, kids they haven't lived long enough to really like Ragnar said. They haven't been around long enough for us to
care. Is this the one that just said that some peasants deserve to die?
Yeah. Well, kids are different.
Are you the one that's worried about the garden?
Absolutely. Well, because here's the thing, we gave our word that we're going to help and tend these things. So
we tended it.
No, I can't give my word and be deceitful. We're going to have to make an effort to make this right. That's just it.
Olaf is gonna like take some of the vegetables that we dug up and just like go inside and like, hey, let me make you a meal and try to keep her occupied while the other guys out there.
Yeah, Olaf, you distract her by cooking her a meal while the others continue to work on this magic stone.
Well, I mean, I'm not working on the stone. I mean, that's not really in my preview. So I'm really focused on trying to do what I can to put this garden back together.
Here, since Greg cast Identify, I gotta bring out this spell. Hold on. Greg, you are shocked. This is a very high-level spell that has been cast over here. The spell is Move Earth.
Oh, wow. Okay.
This rock is changing the very landscape around it. Some sort of powerful magic. You believe that this glowing symbol on the rock is some sort of key, and if you were to activate the key somehow, it would cease the magic.
Anyone get a feather? Oh,
Well, there's chickens.
North City cooking and
Get
North
a
with
feather from the chicken and place it on the symbol and see what it did.
Depends on what type of feather it is. If it's a chicken feather or a eagle feather or a crow feather.
Well, it's
Well,
ironic.
as a ranger, do I recognize what kind of feather it is?
It looks sort of like a hawk feather.
I tell the group that it looks kind of like a hawk feather.
Are you guys gonna go out and look for a hawk now?
No, I mean, I'm not leaving the garden. I'm working on the garden.
Okay.
So what do you do with this symbol on the rock?
Okay, so
Try to lift the rock.
The rock is too heavy. It's a massive boulder weighing tons.
Well,
Okay.
we can shape that rock. We can get it out of there if we wanted to. We have the ability to do that.
Could we push or touch the crumpled piece of paper with the drawing of this emblem? Touch it to the emblem on the stone? Does anything happen?
Do you touch the stone?
Well, yeah, I'll reach out and touch where the emblem is and like press the piece of paper with the drawing into it.
You touch the stone with your hand, and the entire boulder begins to glow. As the boulder glows, Gregory, in your pack is the Tear of Saloon. The Tear of Saloon just grows enormously bright, so bright that you get blinded because you're wearing the robe of eyes. And then you feel the ground shake a little bit, and as the ground begins to shake, you see like the very morphology of the ground begins to change. The hut kind of gets ripped in half. Olaf, you almost fall to the ground because the hut gets ripped in half, and a fissure appears inside the ground with stairs leading down from the boulder, leading deep into the ground, and the whole area is just kind of ripped apart as you're walking down. Olaf, you get thrown. You were sitting there cooking for this lady. You get all of a sudden the ground just opens up beneath you, and you almost fall into the ground, but you catch yourself. You climb up. The hut is split in two, and the old lady's gone.
Hey guys,
As I
what
back
you
away
guys
from
do?
I don't know. I thought you guys did. What kind of magic is this, Olaf?
I don't know. The old lady's gone.
It is that magic that Gregory identified.
there's a Move Earth spell. Huh. Okay.
Very high level spell. Not that high. It's a level 6, but high for you guys.
And it's high for a level 6 party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Looks like you found some sort of entrance to some underground.
Well, this is where we want to go. So let's get in here and take a look.
Good idea.
Olaf gets out of the half broken down hut and starts following the other guys.
Okay, you guys move down the stairs, and the stairs continue for about 200 feet down into the earth. They go down diagonally, and as you get further and further down, there's torches on either side that begin to light sequentially as you pass by it, until finally you get to the bottom of the stairs, and there is a big iron double door. The iron door has a latch from your side.
Tentatively reach out and grasp it and try and open the door.
As you grasp the latch, you guys were all facing the door. From behind you, the old lady speaks. You didn't even see her follow you down, and she's looking at you, and she's standing there, still slumped over. She's holding a torch, and she's holding the stick in her hand, and she says, "Tell me, answer me this. Where do gods go when they die?" And as she says this, you see her body just melts into sand, a pile of sand on the floor.
Where do gods go when they die?
Does anybody out of character know the answer to that?
No.
Or in character? I'll let somebody roll a religion. It's gotta be real high.
At a game, I do know there's this one spot, this one outer plane that where forgotten or dead gods do go, but I don't know the name of the place.
Ragmir, you were too busy hating orcs. You didn't pay attention in that class.
Well,
Okay, and you have no idea. That's just way above your head here in terms of high level knowledge. So she turns into a pile of sand.
All right.
that's what I would have said. I think that they go back to feed the earth.
You want me to roll the religion check?
Well, no, I was only going to take one.
All right.
And the DC was way too high. So, you guys lift the bar, and the doors open outward. So the bar is on your side. It appears to be sealing something in as opposed to keeping people out. And the door creaks open. Oh man, my module's not working. Damn Fantasy Ground updates.
Uh-oh.
You know, with every update, I just get real paranoid that something's going to break. This one's not so bad. It just it breaks the lighting stuff, so we're okay. I can fix it. We are doing a map transition because I gotta have some sort of combat map, or else you guys would revolt.
Nah.
Not at all, but
Okay.
feast.
Yeah, you guys end up in this place. You look around, and even though where you came from was some sort of you were underground, when you come inside, it seems to be a fancy place. The room is immaculate, perfectly clean and placed, and there is a big table with a feast laid out. There's sumptuous food and bottles of wine it just looks like a very, very high class cooked feast. Along the north and south walls, I'm sorry, are we doing this with directions again? Along the leftward and rightward walls, there are two statues carved in this really old-looking style. The statues are both the same. They are of a woman with a dark globe in their hands. She seems to be kind of looking over this room with her gaze.
But no one else in here.
There's nobody here that you can see. And Greg can't see either, even with his robe of eyes that sees invisibility.
And it has 120 feet of dark vision.
Yes, but I do put limitations on your robe of eyes. Number one, you cannot see through walls because material walls extend into the ethereal plane. So you can't see. What?
There looks like a door to the south.
Yes, there's 3 doors. There's a door directly to the south, and then there's 2 doors to the west.
I can also see in the ethereal plane with the robe
You
of
can
eyes.
see in the ethereal plane, but you can't. The walls, material walls, extend into the ethereal plane, so you can't see through the walls. So if there's a ghost like flying around, you'd be able to see it because the ghosts hang out in the ethereal plane. But if
I can see 120 feet into the ethereal plane.
But if the ghost is hiding behind a wall, you can't see it. But the ghost can go through the wall because it's in the ethereal plane. Then you can see it. So that's the nerf to the robe of eyes. Otherwise, it's too powerful.
Right.
I'm going over.
And if in bright light, you go blind. So if you go out into direct daylight, you cannot wear your robe.
Right. So I'm inspecting this statue.
You look at the statue. It's a very ancient-looking statue. You can roll a religion?
Okay.
The statue is kneeling in an offering pose that is very common to religious worship, the way she's kneeling. But
It looks
however,
like she has a plate in her hand or something.
yeah, she has a dark globe in her hand, and the way she's kneeling looks like the way when you perform a religious rite, like John Ashford often would. The way you would kneel is the way she's kneeling. However, there's nothing discerning what religion she is praying to. There's no religious symbols or anything.
And the other statue is the same
Same
thing.
statue, just the other side, like a mirror image kind of thing.
Okay. I take a seat.
The food looks scrumptious.
I take a seat and start making a plate.
This seems weird.
Gregory's detect magic should still be on. So does he detect name magic coming from the food or from the drinks or anywhere else in the room?
Yeah, he does. The table, the food on the table appears to be magic.
What school of magic?
Illusion.
Illusion. I turn to what's his face, John Ashford, and I tell him, "I'm pretty sure that food is not real.
What's his face?
I look
just an
back
illusion.
and say, yes.
I'm
likely.
detecting illusion magic coming out of it.
Yeah, I agree. Likely. I think that we are being observed and measured whether we're worthy to speak with this Elminster.
Yeah,
So,
by Elminster and probably the demon as well.
right. So what I think whoever has the letter present it and see if our cause is worthy.
What letter? Oh, there's no letter. You guys are given a crumpled piece of paper.
Oh well, whoever feels. Actually, I look back. You have the best look back at the mage. You seem to know the most about magics. Do you want to call forth Elminster and present our case to him?
Sure.
Perhaps he should pull out the chair.
You pull out the piece of paper. You call out. Do you get no answer?
All right.
So, really quickly, we were told to come here because the Tier of Saloon was missing. We found that. Why are we here?
Oh, but because to try to explain why there are two realities that have merged into one.
That's what we need to tell him.
I will.
Because he just came back from hell. He knows that something is off in this reality.
Yeah, I will loudly call out for Elminster to show himself. Durnan sent us here. There's a problem with the historiophage and something with missing timelines.
And pulling reality apart.
Yes, you call out, but you get no reply.
Ragomir,
it seems
we
like
need to leave
Elminster's playing coy.
right. Ragomir, do we need to leave some type of offering? Is that what those statues are?
There's nowhere to leave an offering. They're just holding globes.
Do the globes look like they're made of the same material that the statues are?
Yes, they're all carved out of stone, and you don't think that there's anything kind of fishy or magical going on with the stone itself.
So the statues in this room just to be purely decoration.
They are ancient. I'm talking thousands of years old. You recognize, and they're perfectly preserved. You look around the walls, the very walls of this chamber, it's thousands of years old. This is ancient stonework. You don't even recognize it in terms of modern stoneworking. It's very nice, but you don't even recognize the craftsmanship. It's so old.
Can I inspect the doors?
You check the doors. You don't detect anything that's a trap. Neither of them have any locks. They just have a handle that you open.
Do I hear anything on the other side of the doors?
There should be a thing where I'm able to open the damn door, but I can't. I don't know why. There used to be, you hover over it and you can open it, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it don't even show up as doors on our map either.
Yeah, it's not even showing up as a door on our map.
Yeah, is this the update? Did the update kill them? Because on my map, it still shows doors.
Yeah, not us.
That is infuriating.
There's a door here, a door here.
Well, we see it, but they're not like appearing like the old map with the doors.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why that is. It makes absolutely no sense to me because the way the map is drawn is perfect. It must be some update shenanigans with Fantasy Grounds, which I'm very upset about in this case, because that means I have to mess with the map layer, which may show you things you're not supposed to see, but that's fine. We'll do what I have to do.
Close our eyes?
No. Okay. Which door? You're going to open these doors?
Yeah.
I asked the party if we should go ahead and open the door.
I think we should start. If you don't see any traps, I think we should open the door.
I will open the doors for you by deleting the map layers. It's the best I can do. All right, so in the top chamber, you look around and you see several worn pillows that are thrown all over the floor in this room, and you have a faint smell of incense in the air.
Do I see that thing in the center?
Oh yeah, that center is an incense burner.
Okay.
And when you look at it, it appears that recently it's been used. Somebody burned some incense there.
Are those pillows or small stools?
Pillows.
Oh, they're just hanging around, burning incense, doing crazy wizard stuff.
Getting
Just
high.
a rest and relaxation room. Nothing on the walls, though, correct?
Nothing on the walls. I mean, the chamber looks not much different from the other chamber.
Well,
Olaf, it made me thinking we set that center thing on fire.
Well, hold on. What kind of magic are you detecting in here?
You find illusion magic on that table.
So this is fake as well.
No, that's the table, not the incense burn.
No. I mean, I'm talking about in this room where the incense and pillows are.
Oh, you don't detect magic in that room.
And the bedroom either?
You go into the bedroom, and it's a cramped quarters that hold 4 bunk beds, 8 beds total. They contain some clothing, some old linen, some old capes, nothing of value. Some sandals.
Is there anything on the walls in the bedroom?
No, it's just stone. Some of it is broken down with age.
Might as well open up the other door.
Absolutely.
Yep.
All right,
So
I have to. Yeah, this is going to be a map layer thing. Which
Sorry.
no, it's not your fault. It's the fault of whoever decided to do this update that breaks line of sight rules.
Yeah, they always do that. It's great.
Okay, so you open up this. Door. It's a double door, and that opens inward. And in front of you, you see a thick purple curtain directly to the south. I don't know if you guys can see that on your map.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a thick purple curtain that's decorated with a pattern of solid line, and one solid line and 6 dashed lines. And then in the middle of this room, you see what appears to be like a stove, like it's meant for cooking, and a little bench.
Olaf.
Last time I went near a stove that wasn't mine, it attacked me.
Is there anything on the table or on the stove or on the walls?
The table has some kitchen instruments, but it doesn't appear to have been used recently.
So I think there's something here we have to figure out. Since we didn't get the riddle, we're going to need to figure something out to prove ourselves worthy. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think where do gods go when they die? I think they return to the earth, return to the land, the dirt of the earth, the salt of the earth, to grow life again. What does everyone else think?
Well, that's where people go when they die.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I
the
think
gods-
we're not that much different.
The gods, I feel like they go to some outer plane or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my character has no idea. I know out of character some stuff, but
yeah. I mean, I think out of character, I think that they go to a plane of happiness or something like that. But
I wouldn't call it happiness.
well, I know that they go to a plane, but
yes, there is a place that they go.
Right.
That is known in the lore of Forgotten Realms.
So these statues are making an offering, but it's a globe.
But some other cataclysm
statues
happens
move?
and they always come back. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
The statues don't appear to be moved. You kind of examine them. There's no mechanism to them. They appear to be just statues.
And no part of the statue moves, like the hand doesn't secretly move up or down or something.
No, not from what you can tell.
So we're in a nondescript building. Has a very large banquet table with illusory food on it. And then a room for smelling incense and relaxing.
Yeah.
Bed chambers and
I want
You're kind of questioning what this Elminster guy is all about, right?
Is there a wall behind the curtain, or can I inspect?
You don't know.
the
Would you
curtain?
like to move the curtain?
I would like to move the curtain.
You move the curtain back, and it continues on to the. Oh my goodness! It continues on to Broken Fantasy Grounds update. Hold on. Let me fix this.
Okay.
I gotta fix some stuff. All right, this. There we go, and this.
That looks like another globe.
The curtain pulls back, and to further down the hallway, you see a fountain, and it's flowing with water.
Is that another globe inside the fountain?
Oh no, that's just part of the fountain.
What's
Okay.
the light?
Oh, I'm
source?
sorry. The inside the fountain, that globe that you see is a purple kind of spherical part of the fountain, and the water just continuously flowing out of it. The water looks very very pure and clean.
I'm gonna take a drink of it.
Be careful.
Yeah, I can't be poisoned, or I can't be diseased. Maybe poisoned.
Well, last time someone dealt with water in our
Was there
party,
any
they
magic
drowned like
Gregory?
twice.
Let Gregory come in here and see
Oh.
if he detects any magic.
John,
Which
you drink
I've
you
already
drink
figured.
out of the fountain, right? And then you get this pain in your eyes.
I was like, oh gosh, I
N-
think this fountain might not be good for us.
No effect so far in terms of game mechanics, but your eyes kind of hurt after you drank from the fountain.
Okay, yeah, they're straining. It's straining my eyes.
And then further down south, you see another purple curtain.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go down here and check
All
it
right,
out.
are you gonna pull the curtain back?
Of course.
Watch out! It's gonna reveal everything because I have
What
to
are
delete a whole damn map layer. Damn you, updates.
Well, we'll suspend disbelief.
Of course. And you, this curtain pulls back to a hallway with an end of a hallway that's blocked off. Nothing else. But John, you drink out of the fountain, and your eyes are kind of hurting, and you see that this wall over here. Whoops!
Uh-huh.
What did I draw? This is bizarre. You see right through the wall.
Huh?
I tell them, guys, something's not right. I'm seeing right through the wall.
What do you see?
I look back to the one wearing the cloak of eyes. Can you see through that wall?
I was gonna say, because I can see invisibility, but that's different from true sight.
But is that wall maybe an illusion?
It's possible.
I'm just going to walk through it.
The wall is an illusion, and you do see through it. Hold on. It is invisible. Let me try to delete it without destroying the map. I'm building the map as we go along.
Oh, so my guess is this water from the fountain gives you, if you drink it, it'll give you true sight.
I don't know.
So, as you get to this wall, and you look through it, you realize that the wall is an illusion, and you can walk right through this wall.
Okay.
On the other side of the wall, the hallway continues, curving to the north, and you see a total of 12 columns. There are eyes carved inside these columns. The columns are against the wall, and there are eyes carved inside the columns. The columns are also moving up and down, and the columns have a twin on the other side. Oh, are you guys down there?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we went.
John, how did you get in there? You're not supposed to be.
Oh, I thought you said we go into the room. Sorry.
That's a wall. See, this is a problem when Fantasy Grounds breaks.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
where are we at down
The
here?
fake wall is down here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're down there. So
Okay.
there are 12 columns. There appears to be an energy beam alternating in the columns, like one energy beam and then one column without an energy beam. The columns with the energy beams are all different colors, and there's some mechanism inside the wall that's making them go up and down. Sort of like a laser grid.
How quickly are they moving up and down?
Fairly fast, not so quick that's impossible to jump through, but you'd think it takes some skill to be able to dodge them.
And what do we see? It looks like it's like a bright red colored beam closest to us, and then all the way to like a purple beam at the
Yeah,
end
so
of the
the
wall.
beams are all different colors. They go red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, as you can see.
And can we see anything past the purple beam? Or
You
does
see
it
a
look like
wall.
just a dead end wall.
And the beam go up the entire wall, floor to ceiling.
Yeah, well, the ceiling's about 10 feet high. The beams are going up and down. They're fairly fast, so You can't walk through them casually. You got to be like stealthy and dodgy. It's going to require a check to get through one of these beams. You realize.
Does anyone have? And is there
Misty
any
step?
like loose gravel or rocks?
Sure, you can
No.
pick up some loose gravel because part of the floor is crumbling next to you.
I will toss a rock into the hall to see if I can hit one of these beams to see what happens.
Are you aiming for a particular beam?
I'll try for the first one, the one closest to us.
I will. You may roll a ranged attack with that rock toss.
Oh, okay.
Give me a second.
Ranged attack. Would this qualify for like proficiency bonuses and all that?
Sure.
Okay.
You're proficient with throwing a rock, right? Sure.
Sure. Guess.
Who isn't? Everybody's proficient with throwing a rock.
Right.
You toss the rock. The rock hits the beam, and when that happens, the two columns of beams twist towards you, the person who tossed the rock, because you are still in view. The beam hits you.
Whoa.
Oh.
And now
You get a dexterity saving throw, however, for half
Oh.
damage.
Oh, for half. Oh, good.
That's good. You take half of this damage, radiant, which is 7 damage.
Okay.
But when you get hit with this beam, you feel weakened, like some sort of foul magic is afoot, and your body is weakened. You have a -2 to strength checks and saves. Not saves, checks. I hope that's the right script.
Interesting.
It appears that this trap was designed to, if you break the beam will turn on you.
Huh. Was there...
Do we see any like switches or anything that could possibly turn this mechanism off?
Not from where you're standing. You don't see any switches.
Is there anything on the walls in this little end of the hallway where we're standing?
No. The walls are a little crumbled, but there's nothing of interest there.
Does anyone have...
I got a scroll of invisibility. I don't know.
Ragmir, what do you think? Ragmir?
He's
don't know
speechless.
what to think.
He's speechless.
I'm speechless. I'm looking
It's
at a
like,
rainbow.
What the heck? Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm kind of
yeah.
clueless as well.
I could
Somebody have Misty Step?
Yeah.
They could step to the end of the hallway and see. if
Misty
there's
Step
any-
will give you 60 feet. The end of the hallway, let's see.
Actually, Misty Step I think only gives you 30 feet.
30 feet. Yeah.
Oh, 30
Yeah,
feet.
not far enough.
Won't get you to the end. It'll get you like up to around
What-
here.
Which beam did he hit? Which
Red
column?
beam.
First one.
Very first one. And I feel very weak.
Okay.
It didn't really hurt me, but man, I feel tired and like everything's heavier.
Did the beam continue to move up and down after it hit him?
Yes, it goes back to how it was before. Sort of like a laser grid going up and down.
Yeah.
If you were kind of acrobatic, you think you can probably jump through it. But if you're wearing plate mail, it'd be kind of difficult.
Yeah, I'm not going to even try to jump through it.
Mhm.
Could I roll an insight check to see if I can get any insight on what these columns are, what these beams coming out? I don't know what else to do.
Wouldn't be an insight check per se.
All right.
Oh, and sorry,
Well, your insight tells you that this is a trap. It's a test.
Right, and that's what I think. We need to figure it out, or we're not going to get to see the man.
So, you said the beam is how wide is the beam?
The beam is fairly narrow. It's about as wide as like your arm.
But we know
Gotcha.
that there's a pattern. So Kayan, you're extremely dexterous. You downgraded your armor, or we can hold your armor. Rob's not here. I think you can make it. If Rob was here, he would do it.
Rob will get hit by every single one of these beams.
But
You're saying
I am feeling a little sick right now. I don't think he's up to
yeah.
doing
Hold
that
on.
task.
You're saying these beams go all the way up to the ceiling, then all the way down to the floor. Granted,
Yes.
they're going quickly.
Well,
But
he said it's a pattern, though. We could do.
It goes up and down, sort of like a limbo stick that's being up and down,
Yeah.
up and down.
So I have, it looks like a good 15, 20 feet of running speed or movement before I got to the red beam. But we can see there's a gap between the red and orange beam. Could I not time it that as the red beam went all the way up, I ran straight forward and then tried to slide on the
doing
ground?
any form of maneuver would require a bit of a check.
Correct. Yeah, what I want to do is just to kind of like run and
Yeah.
just like baseball slide under the beam as it's all the way at the top.
You can
and
just
I'll
crouch and walk, try to walk through it, as well.
Yeah, that's. I think.
It requires an acrobatics check.
Oh yeah,
Sure.
that's
I will
Kayan's
do
middle
that. I
name.
will aim for right there and
All right.
acrobatics. You said.
Yes.
All right. Here, guys, I got this. I feel heavy, but I think I can get there.
You got through that first beam. Now you're between these two beams.
Perfect.
And now that I've crossed the plane of the red beam, it's still active behind me.
Yep.
So it's not, huh? And I wondered, does anyone have a mirror?
I have a mirror.
Actually, I had a small steel mirror. Let me double check and see if I still have.
Do you
it.
have a small steel mirror?
I mean, maybe we could redirect the beam.
Maybe you could.
Although I touched it
maybe
with a
it-
rock and it
But
blasted me.
as
Maybe
you-
it hit you.
It's moving up and down. I don't know how you're gonna be able to catch the
But as you
beam
look at the
and-
rock, you see that there's some sort of mechanism that allows it to move directions as well. Because when you threw the rock, well, the minute the rock crossed the beam, that's when these columns that are shaped like eyes, that's when they turned right towards you, where the rock, who threw the rock.
Correct. So okay. So breaking the beam to try and that might not be such a good idea. Well,
I'm trying to figure out, guys. Maybe like if one of us was invisible, we can just walk through this and not worry about the beams.
I don't think invisibility has anything to do with it. I think it'll either
could
hit
be,
you
I
or won't.
mean, 'cause there was water that allowed John to see some invisible stuff, but John doesn't see anything looking like it was invisible in this hallway.
Right.
Nor does Gregory see anything, and he can see invisible stuff too. Different colored beams. This one makes feel weak. Presumably all of them are going to have some sort of detrimental.
Fact. Yep. I was thinking the same thing.
And we don't see. Now that I'm, I guess, 10 feet further down the hall, do I see anything at this end of the hall? At the opposite end by the purple beam?
You see a wall.
Just a wall still. Okay. I don't see. So there's, in theory, there's nowhere to go once we get past all these beams.
Not that you can see.
So, why the hell Would they make an empty hall that dead ends?
Olaf not wanting Cayenne to go by himself. He's gonna cast guidance on himself and join him on the other side of that beam.
Okay, it's a dexterity. Not sorry. It's an acrobatics check to get past the beam.
Okay. Oh, the check. The check.
Well, it's not in the tower, but that's a fantastic check.
Nice.
You get right through this beam, no problem.
Okay, so maybe that's the trick here then? We one at a time.
You could go one at a time, but not everybody's fantastic with acrobatics. As you can tell with these two heavily plate armored members of the party you got coming with you.
I think, Cayenne, you and I maybe work together to get to the other side.
Yeah. And,
Maybe there's something on the other side to turn it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now that we're in between two beams, these eyeballs that are going up and down, am I able to see them like this one that I'm closest to?
They're eyeballs carved out of stone, and you have the exact same eyeballs at the area you're standing, but there's no beams going through it.
Interesting.
And they're not moving either. They're like fixed in place, like in the center.
So they're some sort of mechanical, magical... What the hell? Alright, well, I guess since we got past the red one and we're kind of hitting a roadblock, I'll try and dip between the orange beam to the yellow beam and kind of...
All right,
you got this, Cayenne.
Another acrobatics check. You may have guidance.
Oh, it did not seem to roll the extra D4.
I don't think you had the guidance effect on you.
I put it on him.
All right, that's good enough. You get past this one. See, it's not that hard to get past the beams, but you do need to be kind of dexterous.
I'm gonna do the same thing and just keep up with Cayenne, and we'll just keep on guidance checking.
Okay, Olaf, you're up. You may roll the acrobatics check.
Yeah. Oh, I'm putting it there. I'm gonna put that there. I meant to cast guidance on myself. But... Okay.
Oh, that first roll was out of tower. That second roll, oh no, Olaf.
Oh.
You get clipped as you go crash.
I still get through.
I believe you have resistance to radiant damage, is that correct?
Yes, correct, I do.
Okay, so you first make a dex save.
Dex save.
Oh, you fail to save, but you take half damage anyway, because you're resistant. So you take half of 9 points of damage, which is 4 points of damage, rounded down. And since you got hit by the orange beam, you start feeling a little weak as well. You have -2 to your dexterity checks, which is not what you need going through these things.
Uh-oh.
All right, are we going to continue?
We have to.
Is
I
guidance
think we got to. We have to see if we see anything.
Is guidance
is a
touch?
touch. Yeah.
Does
I
it
don't know.
last
Look it up.
for?
Look it up. It might be a range, but
Does it last for a?
No, I have to touch them.
Yeah.
Does
but,
it have
like,
a duration?
When someone uses it.
Yeah,
So,
it lasts
just
for
Cayenne
1
uses
minute.
it.
When you, oh, okay. I thought
Yeah,
it
it
had
lasts
a
for
time
1 minute.
duration.
It's only good for
Oh.
one roll.
Oh,
So once he uses it, I can use it. Once he uses it, I can use it. So.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Well, and we still don't see it, and seeing Olaf get blasted by the beam. Are you okay?
I'm good. It was just like brush off the smoke that came off of me, and we're still good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's,
All right, Kayan, you're gonna go through the next beam?
Not yet. I want to cast Bless on them. I can reach them from here.
Oh, very nice. Yes, you can reach them from here. You may cast... can you put the effect on them?
Yep. Yeah, all you have to do
Yeah.
is target them. And
Yeah, I'll just target them and.
That would be very helpful. A bless plus a guidance is an enormous amount of help for their checks.
Hey, was there anything on that other curtain that we came through?
No, the curtains were plain purple curtains.
Okay.
Well, wait.
Well,
The first
Wait,
one
wait,
had
wait.
those lines and stuff, but the second
Yeah,
one is a plain purple
Lines,
curtain.
yeah.
guess what
there-
else isn't working? Target's not working.
Target's not working?
I can't target them. Oh,
You could drag Bless onto the character. Drag
Yeah.
the like.
Really? No, you are targeting them.
I am?
Yeah.
Yeah, you have Olaf and myself
Okay.
targeted
Okay,
so
well,
far.
good then. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe it just hasn't updated somehow.
Alright.
I've seen that happen. All right, now that you have the bless on you and you can cast the guidance, would you like to try again and move on to the next beam?
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, because wait, you said the first curtain had.
Long
Lines.
dash and 6 short ones. I believe he said. A long line and 6 short lines.
And it was repeating? Like dash, 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 dash,
Yeah.
dash, dash. Huh.
Yep.
Short dashes indicate the beams that aren't there. Long dash indicates the beams that are. But how
A
do you...
timing thing.
But they
Kinda.
don't change. They're like static. They're just on, and the other ones are off. So, and we touched one beam. We've touched 2 beams, and it's instantaneously the person that touches it gets zapped.
What's on the floors of this hallway?
Fine marble, fine stonework.
Is there any?
Ragnar is impressed. Nothing strange though.
Oh, crap! Nothing drawn on the walls, or other than the eyes.
No, the walls are all very plain. You don't see any symbol, writing.
Okay, so we're at Olaf and I are at a spot where the beams aren't on. Can we try and manipulate these eyeballs? Like, is there any indication that we can move them in the wall socket, or get an idea of an internal mechanism that can we see through the empty center eye portion inside of it in any way?
You look through it. It's just dark.
Just dark.
These eyeballs are the same as the ones that are moving. It's just whatever mechanism making them move is not active right now.
Gotcha. Huh.
Are we from the other side of that purple?
Yeah, I guess.
Is there any way for them to destroy the eyeballs?
You can attack the stone, sure.
I mean, I think I would rather.
Ragnar can probably
first.
slide you some stone cutting tools, and you can start hammering away at it. Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Instead
Yes,
of
yeah.
going through all that, hang on, guys. Instead of doing all this, I am going to pull a scroll out and cast Misty Step to get.
Oh, Misty
other side of
Step!
purple.
Bam! You're across all of these. You find
And I
yourself
will-
at the end of the corridor, and there's a solid stone wall there. Give me a perception check, looking at the solid stone wall.
Perception check with, I guess, guidance on myself.
And bless.
Yeah. And bless. All right.
The bless should roll automatically.
Did it roll automatically?
Oh, it didn't. What is going on with these scripts?
All right, and bless is a D4. And
All right, at the something might be something's up. Is something up with these scripts, or is
I
it,
guess so.
or is it some module breaking, Fantasy Grounds update kind of situation?
not sure.
Look at the bless script. Does that look right to you? It says attack D4, save D4.
Yeah.
Should it say attack 1d4 or something?
It does say attack 1d4, save.
So there,
1d4.
that's working. An ability check. Eeny, meeny, miny. Here's a nature check or a medicine check. It's not registering. It took the effect off of me from Olaf's guidance.
Oh, you know
add.
what? This is the why. Bless does not give you skill check bonus. Does it? It's attacks and saves, not skill checks. That might be. That's why.
Oh.
I got myself confused. It's okay.
Yeah.
You still have what you need.
Attack rolls and saving throws.
Yeah, that's why. So Olaf, in the center of this wall, you see a keyhole.
Keyhole.
A keyhole. Like something that would fit a key right in the middle of this damn wall.
Oh boy. I yell back to the group. Hey guys, I found a keyhole. Anyone see a key around there?
Keyhole look like? It just looks like a regular keyhole.
It looks like a regular keyhole.
Looks like a regular keyhole.
Did anybody search those pillows or anything?
You guys took a look at the pillow. You didn't find any keys.
What about in the fountains? And John was drinking out of the fountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there anything in? Well, he said the water was clear.
Yeah, there was nothing in the fountains.
How about the incest bowl?
Not in the incense bowl. Incense bowl. That's awful.
All right. Did we? What about on the table?
There was this illusory food on a table. You didn't see anything like a
There
keyhole.
was no key. Okay. No key. All right. That's fine. Does it look like a regular key, or is it some type of special?
It looks like a keyhole that you would expect from like a door.
Okay. Do we have the ability to use knock?
Not way over here.
I think I may have that spell prepared. Yep, I have it prepared.
You have it
Can you
prepared.
cast it?
Can you reach it from where you are?
What's the range on it?
60 feet.
Let's see, 60 feet. 60 feet.
If he moves up to the edge, he could probably do it, right?
Yes, you can, if you would like to cast knock.
Get out of his way.
I will do that.
I think that that's great thinking in using the knock spell. You can take some inspiration for that.
Yay.
While I remove stuff. Remove more walls.
It's a second level spell slot expended.
So you cast knock, and something clicks inside this key mechanism, and all of a sudden the wall slightly rotates, and you get the idea. You go over there, you push the wall, and it kind of opens up, rotating. And right in front of you, you see another one of these statues. You see the statue, and in this hand of this statue is a key, which you assume is the key that you needed from the other side of the wall.
Interesting.
But unlock it and see if it turns off these beams.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he just unlocked it, didn't he?
Yeah, you
No,
go,
I-
you go
Put the
back.
key in there and
Using
turn it.
mechanics
See if
key.
it'll
You
turn
go
the
back
beams
and you
off.
turn the key, but that does not affect the beams. It simply unlocks this secret wall.
Okay. So we're going to have to try to get through these beams.
And Olaf will still look around to see if he can find a lever or something to turn off the
Olaf,
Beams.
you're gonna give me a. What are you gonna? Where are you looking for? There's no levers that you can see. What are you looking at?
I'm gonna look around the statue.
Give me a
Yeah,
perception on the statue. On the neck of the statue, there is a hole. It appears to be about 2 inches in diameter.
A hole.
The hole is facing this way. This way.
Okay. To keep it in that. I assume not. But.
You can't see through the hole.
Right. I think if we put something in the hole, it'll block these beams or turns them off. So did we see anything on our trip down here around 2 inches in diameter?
No. You don't see anything that looks like it was specifically designed to put through this hole.
Olaf, will your rod fit in there?
I take.
Olaf, would you like to shove your highly prized magical rod in this statue's neck?
I will take one of my knives out and try to shove like the knife handle in.
The knife is a bit too thick.
The knife handle.
Yeah.
It's a little bit too thick to go through this.
Still,
Yeah, knife handle I would imagine is pretty thick. You got anything thinner?
mage hand finger. Push it.
The finger does not go all the way through. It can't reach the end of the hole.
I pull out one of the crossbow bolts and hold it in for my magic and try to shove that in there.
Very good. So you shove the crossbow bolt into the hole, and this is what happens. The beams alternate. You see how the beams are going through like this one? Well, 2 seconds pass by, and then all of a sudden the beams are going through these other things. And Kayan, unfortunately, you get hit again.
Oh God!
Man. Nice.
You do get a dexterity saving throw, though.
Awesome.
But the good thing is that means there's no beam in front of me, so he can continue to alternate, and we can go just step forward.
Yes, you can. But Kayan did not know this, so he gets hit again.
Well, that's
You take half damage, Kayan.
All right.
Half of 17. Ooh, that's an ugly roll.
But so we'll all get up here.
That's 8 radiant damage, plus Kayan, you've been hit by 2 beams now. So you've been hit by the red beam, and now you're hit by the orange beam. When you get hit by 2 beams, you get an additional bad effect.
Oh, good.
Your speed is halved, and your initiative is -5. You feel real weak.
Wow. You know what? He may even beat me for the lowest initiative. I doubt it, but maybe he stands a chance. But however, now that we know, we yelled up to Olaf. We all prepare, and then when he says ready, we'll all jump to into space of the other beam, and we'll just take our time.
Alright,
and
so-
count.
I assume Kayan's not standing there still. He probably
Yeah,
No,
he
he moved. He moved naturally.
Yeah,
So
go ahead, Stevie.
now that you guys have kind of figured out how to get across this puzzle, obviously we don't have to do it one at a time. You guys
Right.
go through the sequence, and you finally get yourselves past this damn puzzle.
Perfect.
Kayan has taken the worst of it.
Actually, I'm gonna check Kayan. Will a lesser restoration? Do I think that would help him?
Perhaps. Would you like to try casting it?
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and mark it off. And
Okay.
I cast lesser restoration.
Lesser restoration takes away the really bad effect, which is the half the speed and AC -2 and initiative -5. Takes that away, but the other effects of the beams are still there, unless
Right,
you
and
want to do more or lesser
Right.
restorations.
Not for now. But we at least we know that we can remove it if we have to.
Hey, I have a lesser restoration. I'll go ahead and cast it on him too.
Then it goes backwards in the order that he received it, so he gets the -2 to dexterity checks taken away.
Perfect. All right. So
He's still wounded though.
He's still a little wounded. He's gotten 15 points of damage.
Okay. I'll
You guys just won't let me keep my beams.
well, if you want them, I mean, I don't mind.
I'll cast Cure Wounds on him.
All right, give me a cure wounds on him.
Hang on, I gotta figure out where he's at. There he is.
Don't you have a bonus to the cure wounds?
Yeah, it should be a
That should be your
Whatever,
spellcasting modifier.
spellcasting modifier. Yeah.
Like if you're a cleric, it would be your
Let
wisdom.
me
mod.
check your spell script if it's there's something up with
It
that.
just yeah, it is. It just says D8, so I gotta check the spell
Oh
script.
yeah. Just change it to add the wisdom.
So if you go to like the spell category, you might want to change it where like you hit the magnify on next to the spells, and then you choose.
Yeah, I see it. No, you don't have the ability and stuff in it. So let me try that.
Okay. Are you going to change it, or you want me to do it?
I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah, because that thing has to be set up.
Okay. Do you well, here, just give him 6 back. Unless you want me to re-roll it, it's up to you.
Oh, just roll it again. We'll see if it works.
Sure.
Just make sure it works.
Oh, much better. It works.
It works a lot better.
Okay.
All right, so you guys now are present in this very long hallway. There are 2 statues. One statue that you guys are standing next to, and a statue all the way on the other end of this hallway. The statues are facing each other, and that one statue has that hole in the neck that you can see. There's a green rug that's laid across this entire hallway. And listen, what is this? And there are several kind of crystal lenses set inside along the hallway into the space area. That's where you can see those little circles.
I think it's someone else's turn to go first and pat someone else on the back. Olaf's still feeling a little sluggish.
Oh, I'm sorry. The statues were not facing each other because that one statue where you put the hole in the neck, she was facing towards the beams.
Okay. So,
I'll walk forward. Well, we're past the beams now, guys.
yeah.
I think
so
we're there.
Well, no, I don't think so. I think there's a trap here as well, so I think we just need to be aware.
Yeah, I guess whoever's good at looking for traps should go first and look for traps.
I'll look for some traps. I'm searching for traps as I go down the hallway.
You don't see any indication of traps as you go down the hallway, and you reach the other statue without finding any indication of traps. There does appear to be a door that's leading to the eastward direction.
Well, I checked the door.
The door is a simple door with no locks, with just a handle.
Okay, and then I also want to inspect the statue while I'm standing here.
It is. The statue looks exactly the same as that statue on the other end of the hall.
Does it add a hole in its neck as well?
No hole.
Okay, well, I shout back to the guy, says, the statue seems to be okay, and there's a door down here.
All right, let's check the door.
Okay, I'll open the door.
Going to the map to take away things. And then I had to redraw half the things I took away. This is really infuriating. Okay, there we go. That should work.
So I see inside of there.
You open the door, and it is a long hallway with a spiked pit. There are hundreds of sharp, honed edges of spikes raising out of the ground. The spikes appear to be tipped with a green substance you think is probably poison. And right in the center of this big spike pit trap, there is a dead body that it looks like it's been caught inside the pits. You look around, you take a more careful examination of this hallway, and you notice that there is a ledge on the northern end of the hallway. The ledge is very, very narrow. It's about 2 inches. You'd have to shimmy along the ledge with only your heels if you wanted to try to use the ledge. On the other end of this hallway is an open door that appears to lead to another hallway.
Is there anything on the south side?
No, the ledge is only on the north side.
And these.
I was gonna say, does anybody got spider climbing?
Someone does indeed happen to have spider climbing.
Yeah, how tall is the ceiling?
Oh, I might have that one prepared actually. Let's see. Do I have spider climb prepared?
Give me a perception check on the ceiling.
Oh, okay.
I have spider climb prepared.
No need, good sir, no need. I think I might be able to.
You look up at the ceiling. Fixed inside the ceiling, there appear to be blades, like stuck against the ceiling.
Okay, so the blades, and it's open holes in the ground?
No, the ground is about 20 feet deep, and at the bottom of the ground are spikes.
Oh, gotcha.
Blades on the ceiling and spikes on the floor.
And that's not all. You look down the walls of the hallway, and there are holes. Every 5 to 10 feet or so, they're not like exact, but they're holes, and they appear to be intentional holes, not like breaking down rock, but they were carved in there.
Same as I did for the beam hallway. I'm just gonna reach down and grab a rock off the ground and throw it as far into this room as I can.
The rock just clanks onto the floor inside the spikes. In the middle of the spikes, you see a dead body that has unfortunately fallen into the spikes right in the center of the room. You don't know why that body is all the way in the center of the room. Seems like a long way to jump, but there it is.
And what is the gap? So you said the floor is 20 feet below.
Ceiling's about 10 feet above.
And there's, other than the little holes in the wall, in the gap between that, there's no spikes or anything?
What do you mean? There's no spikes on the walls.
Perfect.
If that's what you're
and
asking.
I am going to just walk up and go, okay, guys, I'm going to try and find a lever or something, and I'm going to just walk.
Can we tie a rope to him in case something happens and we can pull him back?
Sure, you can.
Good idea.
Sure. Yeah, and
Good
I'm just
idea.
going to...
But if something happens, he'll drop first before you can pull him back if he gets far.
Well, at least we can pull him back up and tend
You
to
can
his
pull his
wound.
body. You can pull his body up.
Yeah, he'd be poisoned. Oh man.
Okay, so Kaden, you're walking along the walls with your spider boots.
You bet.
No problem there. The walls are not full of oil. That would have been real mean.
Gotcha.
You're walking along.
You
with
said about...
You get to this body, which is in the center of this hallway. This body is pierced through with these spikes. It's only a skeleton at this point. Must have been really old. On the floor of where this body lies appears to be a sword. The sword is dimly glowing.
Of course it is. Okay, so...
Yeah, it's a magical sword. You know.
I have Gray's rope tied around my waist, dangling back towards him and the group.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look, from what I can see in my angle of this sword, does it look, if I took my rope out and made a little like noose on one end, does it look like I would be able to drop it down past these spikes and potentially hook on a piece of this sword to try and pull it out of there?
Yeah, I think you can do that. I will make you roll a check because you're just going to keep trying. So after like 15 minutes, okay, and just sitting there greedily
What are you
trying.
doing over there, Cayenne? I thought you were looking for a lever.
I can reach into my quiver and pull out one of my quarterstaves to help like reach in there and you know what I mean, and lever it so I can try and wedge it against the wall.
Eventually you succeed and you pull this sword out. A very finely crafted sword. It's glowing. It has a dim blue glow.
Perfect. I will. I'll smile back at the group and go, "Haha! Look what I found! Treasure!" And I'm just gonna keep walking for the door.
So you see that this dead body, his armor is also looking real fancy. So it's got some
Uh-oh.
fancy-looking leather armor.
Backs up.
He's got a pack with looks like it's full to the brim with stuff. He's got a coin purse.
Well, boys. I don't know if I can lever all this stuff up. A sword only weighs a couple pounds. A backpack
Olaf
full
is
of
just
stuff.
gonna take Mage Hand and start pushing my hand. Go find a freaking lever.
Yeah,
your mage hand can reach that area, right? So your mage hand lifts out a coin bag. It jingles with full of coins.
Nice.
I'll take Cayenne. I'll take care of this. You go find a lever.
All right. And I could come back out. There's treasure. There's that armor looks nice, and the backpack looks like there's stuff in it.
So by the time you get there, you have to untie the rope. So you untie the rope, and you get to the other end of the hallway, and you kind of look around, and there are a couple of crates in this hallway. And also, you hear some weird chirruping noise coming from the south west area. Through the walls, it's in another room. You hear like a little like clipping, chirping kind of noise.
Okay. Hey guys, it looks like it's safe over here. There's some crates, and I don't know. I hear some weird.
Yeah, the
noise.
question is how they gonna get over there.
So I wonder. So there's this thin ledge that they could, in theory, really tightly shuffle on their. So what I'll do is I'm gonna actually walk back out here, but what I'll do is I'm going to take out my hammer and I'll hammer a piton into the wall right here, between the door frame and the corner, about halfway. And I'll do it, I don't know, 6 feet up from the ledge.
I know what you're saying.
No,
you're
not that
creating
high.
a handhold.
Yeah, and then what I'll do is I'll walk along to here, and I'll hammer another piton into the wall, and I will have attached my rope.
Are you walking on that little ledge, or are you walking on the wall?
No, I'm walking on the wall, and
Okay.
I'm hammering these pitons into the wall about 4 or 5 feet above this ledge. Like a nice good high handhold. And I'll repeat this process. I have 5 pitons, so I will hammer in, one there. One, hold on here. I'll mark the spots. Put one there. One there.
No, I get the idea. You don't have to mark every piece.
Okay,
I know what
perfect.
you're doing.
So basically, and I'll
You're
come all the way
creating a
back.
handhold for them to hold on to while they're...
Essentially, rope handhold all the way across to help them, because it sounds like they're going to have to shimmy and try their luck. So hopefully...
So are you committed to getting them across this way? Well, we'll go one at a time, if in that case.
I think so. I'll walk along the wall on this side to offer encouragement so as to not get in there.
All right, who wants to try this maneuver first?
Like I said, I've got Spider Climb prepared, and I've got 2 more 2nd level spell slots.
And Cayenne has created a little mechanism with a handhold on the wall with pitons and rope, so you can shimmy along the ledge if you don't want to use your Spider Climb.
And I don't quite trust those holes that you're next to. Maybe as someone goes across while you're walking along the wall, you hold a shield in front of that in case something shoots out.
Sure, that's a good idea.
Sure.
Who wants to go first? Who wants to bite the bullet and try to shimmy through this thing first?
Anyone gonna lend Cayenne the shield? I'll go first if someone lends him the shield.
I don't have a shield.
I gave my shield to Agni, didn't I?
I want to kind of, as best as I can, inspect the ledge to see if it's perhaps maybe there's pressure plates or something like
Greg,
that.
give me, take an inspiration. Thank you for doing that. You saved everybody from a TPK. 20 feet of the ledge itself is a pressure plate. You don't have to roll. You find out. You look at it and you realize that 20 feet of the ledge, this whole area of the ledge, there's a mechanism. We put some weight on it and it's going to activate something.
Oh, okay, but then, Okay, so if that
You're gonna have to look and see if there's some way to, or maybe Gregory can come over there or something with his spider climbing and help you find some way to.
So, Kayan, you look in the room beyond, and there's a bunch of crates there. Every time the more south you go, the more you hear some weird chittering, like on the other end of the
further
door.
south. I'll go up to the first crate, and I'll give it a little bit of a kick to see if there's anything in it.
There is something in it. It's full of something. It seems kind of light, actually.
Okay. Is there a noticeable lid that I can remove?
Yeah, it's a crate.
Okay.
It's hammered in.
Open the crate.
You open the crate, and the crate is full of scraps of paper. Called scraps of cloth. They are all shaped about exactly the same. They are about 2 inches wide, and they're about a foot long. And every single one of them has a bizarre symbol. It looks like a circle with a line through it. Every single one of them has the same symbol. They're all uniform. They're all blue. They all have that symbol in white.
I'll hold one up and go back to the doorway and go, guys, there's a whole crate full of cloth scraps. And it's worked twice. I'll walk along the wall.
You don't press the ledge, I'm assuming.
Yeah, not touching the ledge. I'm walking on the wall, and I'll hand the scrap over to the rest of the group and say, crate.
It's a piece of cloth, a strip of cloth, about a foot long and 2 inches wide, and it's got this symbol, a circle with a line through it.
Yeah.
Might as well check the other crates, hadn't you?
Sure. Yeah, I'll go up to the second crate.
Same thing. There are about 200 of those things in there. It's not worth anything. It's just a piece of cloth. But
how about this third crate?
Same thing. And as you go down south, you hear a lot of chittering on the other end from the other room. The fourth crate, you kick it, and it's different.
Different. So before I open this fourth crate, this chittering noise, does it sound natural?
No.
Doesn't sound okay, so it's mechanical?
You wouldn't call it mechanical. Sounds like some sort of insect, you think.
Oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Does this fourth crate, when I gave it a little kick, did it feel heavier than the others?
There's some glass clinking inside of it.
Well, I'll open it.
You open it, and there are 4 bottles of this greenish liquid.
Is there stoppers on them?
Yeah, there's corks on them.
I will lift one out. Are they heavy?
They're what you expect with a bottle of liquid, sort of like a bottle of whiskey or something.
Okay, and the fluid inside appears to flow sluggishly or quickly?
It's a viscous fluid, thick viscous fluid.
Okay, I'm going to take one of them, and I'll close the lid, and I'm going to walk along the wall, and I will walk it back to the party and say, okay, there's 3 crates of those cloth scraps, all the same color, all with the same emblem. There's hundreds, maybe thousands of these little scraps of cloth. But there's a 4th crate that has bottles of this, and I'll hand this vial or bottle of the viscous green fluid. And I'm not sure for
who's got some skills wants to check this out and figure out what this bottle of liquid is.
Gregory, or at least.
Yeah, I could do it.
would know.
Gregory,
Yeah.
you turn this bottle around. You can't make heads or tails of it. It doesn't appear to be a magical potion. There's no magic in it.
Interesting. And then I'm pretty sure there's a door, and I swear it
Yeah.
sounds like insects. Like there's something. It's making my skin crawl.
Anybody else have any skills and want to check out what this bottle, this green stuff is in the bottle?
I was gonna say, could I just roll a medicine check?
Yeah, so say Rags has a bunch of different things. Like that.
It's not a medicine check. How would you like to? What kind of skill would you like to use? Like, how would you like to figure out what this is?
I'll try a nature check if that.
A nature check is what I'm looking for. Give me a nature check.
Yeah.
Gray, you take the bottle. You kind of look at it, swirl it around, kind of think about different types of natural substances.
Okay.
And
Can I
let's see a nature check.
Can I get guidance on this check?
Sure.
All right. You want to cast it on me or just?
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
It doesn't roll it. I don't know why it's not doing.
Did it add it?
Yeah.
I think they may have. The problem is I think they may have added some sort of script where the script for skill checks is worded differently now. I think that's one of the Fantasy Grounds updates did that.
Hmm.
Well, Gray, you blew it out of the park. You not only do you know what this is, you know the properties of it, and I will give you the sheet. This is scorpion venom. And here are the properties of this poison.
Saving throw.
It is some nasty stuff.
Well, I of course
That's
tell the
no-
party that it's kind of nasty poison. That's probably what's on the needle down
you
there.
specifically know that this is scorpion venom.
Okay.
Oh boy. Well, maybe that's what this weird.
This does look
poison
like what's on.
is.
It does look like what's on those spikes.
Okay. Now, forgot to ask. Like, be right back, guys. And I'm gonna walk along the walls until I get back over here. In this room, do I see any levers or anything that would indicate a way to?
What are you searching? As you look around the room, you don't see any lever. You just see a door.
Nothing of it. Okay. But, Ragmir was able to determine that the little ledge on the north side of the hallway is in actuality a pressure plate.
That was
No,
Gray.
Yeah, it was Gray.
Or Gray saw that. Okay. With my spider climb boots, would I be able to walk along the wall? I'm not very good at it, but I saw Rob Shore do it a whole bunch. Does it look like I might be able to use my crowbar to try and wedge it between the floor and what I think might be this pressure plate and like try and
You would have to
disable
have
it?
some thievery skills to be able to disable a pressure plate.
I figured
You can try it. I'd probably give you a hard roll with disadvantage with the possibility of setting it off.
Yeah. Okay.
But you can try it unproficient style, but you think that you would need some sort of thievery skill to muck with a trap this complicated.
Gotcha. Okay. Well then, yeah, I'm gonna.
Especially since you didn't even notice it when you first walked through.
I don't know then.
Well, guys, I mean, I got this whistle that we can.
The
that
whistle
we can use.
we'll get one of,
burn all our limited use
yes.
items.
The whistle has charges, but charges recharge like on a daily basis, and it will get one of you across.
But then Cayenne can walk it back, and someone else can take it across. It doesn't
But you
require
have
two.
the whistle has a recharge of like a day, so you have to. Didn't you guys pull this thing last time? It was Gregory and Gray's group where they pulled that thing last time to get past that portcullis in Tamoacon, where they literally took a long rest to recharge their spells so they can get everyone across.
Yeah,
yeah, I remember that.
Nice.
Yeah, you can try that again. I can't promise what'll happen to
Okay,
you
so
if
there's no
Elminster wouldn't
levers.
approve.
Um,
I'm not going to stop you from trying that.
Well, no. All these are just tricks. He wants us to prove that we're worthy to talk to him. So there's a way to get across.
Possibly.
For all of us to get across. It's definitely a way to get across.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with those boxes.
Remember, Elminster's probably less nasty than Gary Gygax, so he,
Right.
A little
So
bit.
did we identify what is these holes? Is
You
there
don't
spikes,
know what
right?
the hole. No, there's holes along the walls. The spikes are on the floor.
And how big are the spikes?
There's hundreds of them. They're extremely sharp. They're like the size of a spear coming out of the floor. The floor is 20 feet down.
Right. So, we can, since Kyan can go back and forth, guys. Let's just quit trying to come up with a really difficult solution. Let's put ropes on both ends, piton it, and shimmy across the ropes.
can't though.
Why?
Well, okay.
You mean in the air? You're talking about across
Right.
the middle?
Yeah.
So we don't hit the ledge.
Right.
Is that what
Right.
you're
Right.
saying?
Dead across the middle. Like let me do this. We'll put a rope from here straight over here, and we'll piton them down and secure them down, make sure it's nice and tight, and then we get on the rope. And if we're worried about possibly falling or not making our athletic check, we'll make a little sling to tie it to the rope. So if we slip, we'll only drop a little ways and the rope will catch us. But then we shimmy across and get to the other side. I mean, I know that there's probably a magical solution, but this is just a plain, direct, straightforward solution.
Well,
I
or that
think
we
that we
could
should do that.
we could use the whistle to send someone that has high perception or something like that to see quickly if there's any way to search over there in that room to find a way to.
Let's instead of using resources, let's just do
I don't
this.
think that's going to work, John.
So
You're
why do you
talking
think that?
about stretching a rope the 40
We'd
feet
have to have
across this room?
Mhm.
The rope is going to sag far more than the 20 feet to the spikes.
Oh no.
when you-
What I'm saying is we piton it down. We piton it tight. It'll sag some, but the rope is not going to sag. I mean, if you've ever it's the same thing as a rope bridge. I mean, it's going to sag a little bit, but it's piton down it's secured on both ends. You're only going to get the stretch.
He
sag out
means
of it. You won't get
he
a
means
sag
pull
out.
it taut.
Right, pull it taut, and the only sag you'll get is the stretch sag. Now the rope may break because if you put too much weight on it. That's why I suggest we do it one at a time. But I think that'll work. I mean, I think it'll work to the point I'll be glad to go first.
Elminster's watching you guys stroking his beard.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I mean,
you don't know. He
hammer
might
a
be dead.
piton
Who
in
knows?
Here and I'll walk along the wall and hammer a piton in here and
All right.
secure some rope and
all right, then I'm going to go first since I suggested that, and I'm going to kind of do the little. I'm sure we've all done rope courses before, so do the little shimmy where you wrap your legs around and just kind of pull yourself across.
Yeah, you start pulling yourself across. You're halfway through, and you look down, and you see that dead body that didn't quite make it. Kind of gives you a harrowing feeling, but you continue across, and you make it.
Yep, that's. I mean, I know that we have cool magical ways to do it, but sometimes just the very simple.
and you know what? I think that's great. You get awarded an inspiration for coming up with a very good improvised solution to a very challenging, difficult trap. What it looks like.
Perfect. All right, I kind of look at the group and encourage the next person to shimmy crossed.
I'll go next. I'm Gray.
No problem. You shimmy across.
Okay.
All right, and then I yell back and ask with Rags, check and make sure the rope is still secure. I check this in, make sure it's still secure, and then
Ragnar,
Maybe
you
next person
hammered the
cross.
piton on that side. This is dwarven work. It's not going to move. A dragon
Perfect.
couldn't pull out that piton.
Perfect. So let's go across,
Nice.
guys.
All right.
I'm going to just search around the walls and stuff like that while I'm over here.
Yeah, you see that there are these holes kind of in the walls that have been put there purposefully. Possibly part of whatever trap mechanism this thing is.
Olaf's still a little worried. He's just gonna hold the whistle in his shoot the trap.
Unfortunately, the whistle's not a reaction, so if you did fall, you wouldn't be able to. You'd probably be in the spikes, and you can still blow it while you're in the spikes, but...
Oh.
All right, congratulations, you guys made it across this trap.
Yay.
And unfortunately, I think that we